this is the screen for the Game Awards. Now, what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna vote for one game in particular for Game of the Year. I don't know if there's any other categories, because I've seen other YouTubers' videos about this, and somehow it's like a 20-minute video. So are they just sitting there ruminating for 20 minutes on one choice? Is that what they're doing? Or is there like other votes that you have to do? I have no clue. But we're gonna find out today, guys, and we're gonna find out together. Clock in. View all categories. Yeah, okay, sure, let's do that. Let's just view all categories. Game of the Year. Okay, guys, we're saving this one for last. Now I know why the videos are 20 minutes. We're saving this one for last. Best esports team. Let's start with this one, guys. Best esports team. By far, it's gonna be whoever has Faker. Is Faker on this team? Is Faker on Gen Q? Guys, slash Gen Q. Is Faker on Gen G? That Blue Lemon, thanks for the follow. This is called One Summer's Day, by the way, this song. Who is Faker? What are you guys, young? You guys are aging yourself. What do you mean, who's Faker? Okay, I'm gonna vote for League of Legends. I don't know who any of these people are. I'm gonna vote for League of Legends. Why would I share my vote? Yeah, keep voting. Next category. Player's choice. What is this? Okay, let's just go back to view all categories. It saves my... Okay, it does save my vote. Okay, guys. It saves your vote. Best... Sorry, I gotta turn this down a little bit. Best esports team. Or best esports athlete. It's gonna... I'm choosing Faker. How is he not... Okay, I've heard of Chovy. Though his name might be pronounced Chovy. Guys, I'm voting for League of Legends because I don't care about Valorant and I don't care about Street Fighter. And I definitely don't care about Counter-Strike. So I'm voting League of Legends. I gotta go with my heart here, guys. Best esports game. It's gonna be League of Legends, by the way. League of Legends, Dota 2, Counter-Strike 2, Mobile Legends Bang Bang. What is that even? What is this? What the hell is Mobile Legends Bang Bang? Wait, hang on, guys. Are you trying to tell me that a mobile game is being nominated for Best Esports Game? Mobile Legends? A mobile game? Guys, listen to all the people without subs complaining about the ads. I'm voting for League of Legends. I'm not. I would rather die than vote for a mobile game. Content Creator of the Year. Okay, now, guys, here's what I will say. Here's what I will say. I swear to God, if I'm not listed on here, I swear to God, I'm going to Peepo Riot. Guys, clock in for Trevor Treefort Content Creator of the Year. Alright, here's what I will say. Okay, on a serious note, I've tuned into the Burnt Peanuts streams. It's not really for me, okay? So personally, as a 30-year-old man, the Burnt Peanut is not really for me, okay? I don't know who this is. I'm sure they're a lovely person. I have no clue who they are. Moist Critical, I do watch. I don't necessarily think Moist Critical should be Content Creator of the Year, because at the end of the day, he's just recording himself talking. Now, is he very good at talking? Yes. But is he a good content creator? He's consistent. He's consistent. I think it's gotta be Kai Cenat. Kadril is just a coach. He's a League of Legends coach. I don't know if you guys know who Kadril is, but he's literally just a League of Legends coach, right? And I mean, he's definitely is a good content personality. But like, he had 300,000 viewers just streaming himself watching League of Legends finals. Like, but that's not necessarily his content. That's just his commentary. I don't know. I don't think it should be Kadril. Probably Kai Cenat. Kai Cenat is actually like doing new stuff, and like he's actually making things. Kai Cenat is not a good person. What did he do? What did Kai Cenat do? Why no speed? Yeah, that's true. That's also true. What the hell did Kai Cenat do? I haven't heard of it. Okay, well, guys, I don't. Whatever the hell Kai Cenat's done, I have not heard of. All I know is that he does tons and tons of like he's a streamer. You know what I mean? He's a streamer. I think his ideas are interesting, so I'm gonna vote for him. Most anticipated game. Does this mean for 2026? I mean, it has to be this, right? It has to be Grand Theft Auto 6. I don't know. Kai brought a horse in his room. What? How does that make him a bad person? Just stuff people disagree with? Okay. Guys, here, this might be a hot take, but doing and saying things that don't harm anybody, but that you disagree with is not a bad thing. It's okay to... Again, I have no clue what he said or did. Yo, Victor! Yo, Victor! Thanks for the 10 gifted! Holy mother of bean! Hang on, guys. Clock in here. Clock in here for a minute. Surely I'm not about to do anything, right, guys? And I mean surely. Victor, thank you! And ha! Who? And ha! Who? Victor, ha! Who? And ha! Who? And pizza, french fries down the mountain. Victor, ha! Who? And pizza, french fries, and pizza, french fries. Victor, ha! Who? And pizza, french fries, down the mountain. Victor. Thank you. W, Victor, thank you so much, I appreciate it. W, thank you so much, I appreciate it. By the way, from downtown. Thank you. Okay. Why not me? Like, for most anticipated game? Here's what I will say. One of my IFL friends is trying to convince me to play The Witcher 3 because apparently, according to him, it's the best game of all time. I haven't heard anything about Witcher 4. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. The only game that I've heard of is Grand Theft Auto 6. I haven't heard of any of these games. So, I feel like that says something, right? If you legitimately haven't heard of anything, except for the one game on here. I'm voting for GTA 6. Also, you guys know who Vlad from Russia would vote for? Not Vladimir Putin. But the Vlad from Russia from that one story that I told? Vlad is 100% voting for GTA 6. Best adaptation. Come on. Wait, it froze. Wait, guys, R and R. Oh, there we go. The Last of Us Season 2, best adaptation. I never watched that. A Minecraft movie or Until Dawn? Twilight? What is Until Dawn? Twilight? Or Hunger Games? What the hell is this? Hello, McCann. The Last of Us? No, I didn't watch Season 2. Here's what I will say. Season 1 was great. I like Season 1 a lot, but I can't vote for this because I haven't seen it. Well, actually, wait. That doesn't make any sense because... Yes, okay, Steven, I get it. That doesn't make any sense because I haven't seen any of these. Here's what I will say. Based off the hype, a Minecraft movie should win. Based off the hype alone. Right? Steven, you're not trying to insinuate anything, are you? I feel like I'm gonna vote for a Minecraft movie. The Nether. Yes, okay. Okay, I'm voting for Minecraft movie. Here, guys, okay, just so you know, I would have voted for a Minecraft movie even if Steven wasn't playing these audio clips. Best multiplayer, it's gonna be League of Legends. Peak, Split Fiction, Elden Elden Ring, Night Ring, Battlefield 6, Arc Raiders. Here's what I will say. Ravioli plays the heck out of Battlefield 6. Now, Peak, I only played that one time with Mr. Kale. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, after reaching the first summit, or whatever you said, the first 500 meter the first checkpoint, let's say, I was like, I remember being like, wait, so we just keep climbing? You know what I mean? I don't think it should be Peak. I'm either gonna vote for Elden Ring, Night Rain, or Battlefield 6, because I don't really know anything about these two games. I don't think I'm gonna vote for Peak, though. It did bring a lot of content. One of these three. What do you guys think? One of these three. Arc Raiders? There's 5 total peaks. Split Fiction? Juno, of course. Battlefield 6? Hey, can someone link that video, my 7TV video? Because I've seen 2 people ask about that so far. The emotes. Alright, I'll vote for Battlefield 6 because Ravioli's my boy, you know? Guys, Ravioli's my boy, I gotta vote for Battlefield 6. I've heard it's very fun. But keep in mind, guys, all my friends are like 30, so... Best sports racing. I don't know anything about this. Actually, you know what, guys? You know what? I'm a little angry about Mario Kart. Honestly. Does anybody else feel like that? /SRS? /GenQ? Does anyone else feel a little angry about Mario Kart World? $541 for... Steven, is that you or is that the song? Anyway. Okay, the song has clapping in it? I'm not gonna vote for Mario Kart World. Like, I don't know, guys. I was a little disappointed with that. Don't tell Clusp, though. Nobody tell Clusp I was a little disappointed. The song agrees with your take. Yeah, I was like, that was perfect timing. I finished my take and the song started clapping. I've heard a lot of good things about Sonic Racing's Cross Worlds. Like, every time someone bashes Mario Kart World, people always talk about this. I don't know, what do you guys think? I have no clue. Can you guys convince me to vote for something? I kind of want to vote for this one just because, in spite of Mario Kart World, to be honest. I want to vote for Sonic Racing. I'm not legally allowed to be angry at Mario Kart because I never played it. Sonic Racing has SpongeBob. Sports boring. Sonic Racing? Okay, sure. Guys, no need to try to convince me too hard. Best sports racing, wait. Did it not save it? Oh, it's currently saving it, okay. What is wrong with my internet, man? Best sim/strategy. Okay, let's see if I've even heard of any of these. Oh, oh, wait. There's a Civ 7? There's a Civ 7 out? I didn't even know that. Made me angry, mostly because of their terrible... Guys, choo-choo. Guys, get rid of it. Oh, never mind, I closed it. I closed it, and I don't know what emotes we got. Never mind. Never mind. That was a little anticlimactic. Sorry. They're terrible decisions for online racing. Yeah, I totally agree. Like, what the... Guys, okay, cover your ears if you don't want to hear something. If you're less than 18 years old right now, cover your ears. But what the fuck is Nintendo thinking? Like, guys, /GenQ. What the hell is Nintendo thinking? Like, why do they not just do what their fans are asking? I don't understand. It's like... It's giving, like, dictatorship mentality, where it's like, you know, it's giving billionaire aura, where it's like, oh, the people don't know what they want, I know what they want. The people don't know what they want. They're beneath me. I know what people really want, and I will take care of everyone the way that they want to be taken care of, because I know what they want better than they do. You know what I mean? It kind of pisses me off a little bit, to be honest. Anyway, what do you guys want? I don't know any of these. I don't know any of these, and I don't know anything about these. I've heard of Civ 6. I've never played it or even seen... I've never even seen gameplay. Literally 1987. Cassie, welcome to the stream, by the way. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for the follow a minute ago, by the way. Nintendo Japan dictatorship. I think that's sort of a culture thing in Japan in general, according to some Splatoon interviews. Okay, guys, so, guys, just say a number randomly 1 through 6. And I will make it random. Like, I might start number 1 here. I might start number 1 here, and the first number that I see in chat, I'm going to pick. But I'm not going to start 1 here. Or I might. Who knows? I'm picking where I want to start it right now. First number I see. 5. Okay, the 1 was here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, Civ 7. The only franchise that I've even heard of. Final Fantasy is a good OST. That's what I've heard that too. McCann, peace out. Best family. Donkey Kong Bonanza. I don't know. A lot of you guys. So I've heard 2 things about Donkey Kong Bonanza. I've heard number 1, it's legitimately a very fun game. Number 1, the game is legitimately very fun, and there's a lot of content. Number 2 was a critique in that it's similar to scrolling through TikTok, where you just consume a bunch of content, or like you're just like looking at TikTok for like an hour, and then when you get done, you're like, what did I even do? Like, what did I even watch? So I've heard it's like similar to like doom scrolling in the sense that it's like very fun, but at the same time it's like fun in a not memorable way. 3 Nintendo games? Yeah, I know. Split Fiction is good. Actually, how have I never heard of it? Guys, I'm okay with voting for anything that's not Nintendo. Honestly. Split Fiction? Donkey Kong scrolling greater than Doom scrolling? Alright, fine, I'll vote for Split Fiction, guys. My mind can be changed. So much praise for Split Fiction. Is it worth playing? Like, is it a multiplayer game, or can you play solo? Because I don't really have any friends. Okay, best fighting game. Where's Super Smash Bros. Melee? Where is Super Smash Bros. Melee? Where is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? It's 2 players? You have to do co-op? Well, count me out, guys. Count me out, seriously. Here's what I will say. Mortal Kombat has Sub-Zero, and the theme song's pretty good. The theme song to Mortal Kombat is pretty good. So what do you guys think? Just vote for Mortal Kombat? Play with Kale? As I was saying, I don't have any friends. Anyway, guys, so what are we thinking here? Mortal Kombat? I'm seeing so many people say Mortal Kombat. I've seen so many Mortal Kombats in the chat. Like, so many Mortal Kombats. Why don't I try this? Because Riot has already gotten me addicted to League of Legends for like 13 years. I've been addicted to League of Legends for 13 years. I don't think Riot has my best interest in mind. Okay? Okay? Now, Team Cherry, unless I'm finding glitches, they have my best interest in mind. But Riot Games does not. And to be honest, I haven't even heard of this, honestly. Actually, that's a lie. I've seen Tyler 1 play, I think. Or maybe Squeaks or I can't remember. Squeaks or Ludwig, I don't know. I'm gonna vote for Mortal Kombat, guys, because I like the theme song. Okay, best RPG. I mean, it has to be Clair Obscur. Right? The Outer Worlds 2, I haven't heard of this. This guy kind of looks like, Benson. A little bit. It's giving Benson from, regular show vibes. Guys, here's what I will say. The only one of these that I played was Clair Obscur, and it was phenomenal. It was fantastic. Yes, I mean Pops, sorry. Yeah, I mean Pops. I'm voting for Clair Obscur. It's a no-brainer. I've heard things about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Avowed, and I've heard that both of these games were kind of disappointments. I haven't heard anything about these 2 things, but I have played this and it was very good. It was incredibly entertaining. Best action adventure. Ghost of Yotei, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Split Fiction. Welp, pretty sure this is gonna be Silksong here, guys. Pretty sure there's gonna be Silksong. Guys, has anyone even played Indiana Jones? Like, was this halfway decent? Sinner's Road Simulator? Is this even halfway decent? Indiana Jones? Haven't? Like, has anyone here even at least played the game? It was apparently good? Okay, okay. I'm gonna vote for Silksong. Because it's like the only one I played, honestly. Though you guys are making me curious to try Split Fiction. Best action game. Hades 2, Battlefield 6, Ninja Gaiden 4, Shinobi, Doom, The Dark Ages, or Hades 2. I'm not a huge fan of the roguelike... the roguelike-ness of this. I'm not voting Hades 2. Juno, I apologize, I'm not voting Hades 2. Okay? Now, if anyone can convince me to not vote for Battlefield 6 and to vote for something else, I'd be surprised. Doom was so good. Split Fiction was great, but not Game of the Year great. Didn't you say you played League of Legends for 13 years? Yeah, but where's their League of Legends here? What are you talking about? Yeah, I played it for 13 years. Well, actually, it was more like 13. Or sorry, sorry, 11, because I quit 2 years ago. Gunslop, case closed. Hades 2, it's good. Battlefield 6, solid here. First time catching a stream. Luna, what's up? Thanks for the follow like a month ago, I think. Doom for myhouse.wad. But myhouse.wad is kind of monka. You know? Guys, I want to read the most psychologically scary story of all time. What's the most psychologically scary story you guys have heard? Like, not like blood and guts. Like, when you start watching Saw 3, guys, for example, it's basically you're just watching a guy, like, and it's like, wouldn't this hurt really bad? Like, it's like appealing to your mirror neurons. Like, the director may as well, like, the movie may as well be playing in the background, and the director's just soy-arring at the movie being like, wouldn't that hurt really bad? Look at that! Look at this guy! Wouldn't that hurt really bad? Think about how bad that would hurt! Like, those, I hate those movies. But I like psychologically scary movies. Anyway, what are we doing again? I kind of want to vote for Ninja Gaiden. There was a picture in my phone of me sleeping, I live alone. That's not bad. That's a good short story. My wife peeking at me from around the corner. Okay, fine. Guys, it's gonna be one of these two. Okay, I'll flip a coin. I'll flip a coin. Hang on. Tails. I forgot to say. I forgot to say which one's which. This is gonna be heads. This is gonna be tails. I forgot to say. Okay, I'll vote for Doom. Sometimes I wonder what it's like to. Like, can you guys follow along with my thought process, or does sometimes are you guys just sitting there, just sitting there aga-ing? Best VR/AR. You know, I kind of want to get a VR headset, like a good one. That sounds kind of good. The last human alive was sitting in a room. Someone knocked. I have to get better at saying my thoughts out loud. I haven't heard of any of these. I don't like the way the direction Marvel's going. So I don't want to vote for Deadpool, even if it's amazing. The Midnight Walk, I mean, at this point, guys, I'm just gonna be voting on art. Guys, it's gonna be between these two, based on art. Do we like Ghost Town better, or do we like The Midnight Walk better? Midnight Walk looks super cool. Ghost Town looks good. I think they both look good. Ghost Town, Midnight Walk, Midnight Walk, Midnight Walk, Midnight Walk. Okay. Say less, guys, say less. Midnight Walk. I just did that one. Best mobile game. I almost don't want to vote for these. I almost don't want to vote for these because I don't know, guys. I have there's something about me just instinctually, or like, there's a visceral reaction that I have against mobile games that I just don't like. If anything, I want to vote for Uma Musume. Oh, Persona 5. Wait, I like a song from- wait a minute, I like a song from this game. Should I vote for Persona 5 because I like a song? 4 out of 5 are anime, and this is the only one that's not. Guys, Persona 5 because the song is good. You always have the option to not vote and just move on to the next category. Yeah, but you remember that one? You remember that one song about not voting? Uma Musume or Persona 5 is a spin-off? Okay, I'm gonna vote for Sonic. Best debut indie game. Dispatch, Clair Obscur, Blue Prince, Despelote, Dispatch. By the way, I saw in the Discord someone was Enga in the Discord. Like someone was souping in the Discord because I don't remember who it was, but they thought that I said that I would play Dispatch. When did I ever say that? I never said that. I don't even know what this game is. Here's what I will say though. The two games that I've heard the best things about is Clair Obscur, obviously, and Blue Prince. Now, I never played this game, but I've heard that it is pretty damn good. I have a slight bias towards this one because I've played it, but what do you guys think? Is Blue Prince good enough? Blue Prince is puzzles, but it's so good. You should play with no spoilers. Blue Prince is a roguelike. Dispatch is basically Minecraft story mode, but superheroes. Blue Prince is great, but you really need to love puzzles. Oh. Guys, if we're talking about puzzles, then we're talking about the right guy. We are talking about the right guy for puzzles. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you guys, you came to the right place. That's all I'll say. I'm gonna vote for Clair Obscur because I played it. And it was very good. Best independent game. Hades 2, Silksong, Blue Prince. Wow, the lineup here is pretty good. Blue Prince, Expedition 33. I haven't heard about these games at all. I haven't heard about these games. This is basically asking me to vote between Silksong or Clair Obscur. Okay, here's what I will say. Guys, be prepared to get Anga. Tuna 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 na 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 tuna 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 na na na. Here's what I will say, guys. Be prepared to get Anga. /SRS. Be prepared to get Anga. Best independent game. Now, hang on. This is my reason. I think... Okay, this is so loud. 1 second. I think... Clair Obscur was a great game. Okay? And I think Silksong is a great game. Okay? However... Team Cherry had the success of Hollow Knight to ride off of. And they spent 6 years in development. Or, you can fact check me on that. Somewhere along those lines. Team Cherry had so much capital and so much revenue and profit that they earned from Hollow Knight to work with. Clair Obscur, I had never heard of these guys. I don't know who they are. But to my knowledge, they're basically like... this is their first big game, right? So, if we're talking about independent game, best independent game, like, Silksong kind of like... Team Cherry had, like, the success of Hollow Knight to work off of. Clair Obscur is just, like, its own thing. And I think they kind of took a gamble on the game, and it was fantastic. So I think for best independent game, I think it should be Clair Obscur. I think so. And you could make the same argument about Hades 1, by the way. But I think Clair Obscur has to be the best independent game. I think that makes the most sense to me. By they just 3 people? Yeah, but still, I mean, 3 people with a budget of $50,000. Let me just say this. 3 regular people is a whole lot different from 3 millionaires. You know what I mean? Clair Obscur is not an indie game, it's AA. Expedition 33 had a $10 million budget. Oh wow, these first-time chatters are... Who knew that speaking with ignorance would bring people had a first time chatting. Roberto, welcome to the chat. Also, Florent, welcome to the chat. Hang on, let me look that up. Is that true? The exact budget for Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is not public, but estimates range from 15 to 25 million. That's AI. Being less than a $15 million game compared to AAA games and hundreds of millions. How the hell did they afford that, though? Okay, but still, does the logic still apply that this was their first game? Like, they weren't riding the success of their last game? Is that at least true? Because if it's not, then I might just change my vote. Is it at least true that they had no previous game that was a big success that they could ride the success from? It is their first game? Okay, then I'm gonna stand by my option. I'm gonna stand by that. There are artists from different studios that made their own game. It's their first ever game. Okay, I'm gonna stand by that then. Best community support. Yo, Kuzai! Thunder, thanks so much for the subscription. W. Thanks for the tier 1, I appreciate it. Big time rush. Okay, Baldur's Gate 3, best community support. Recognizing game for outstanding... What does this mean? Outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness. Inclusive of social media activity and game updates and patches. I have... Both devs from Skong and Expedition 33 like each other's games. Guys, I have no clue... I'm not gonna... You couldn't... Guys, you could be holding a gun to my head, and I would not vote for Fortnite. I would just let you kill me. You could be like, vote for Fortnite or I kill you, and I'd be like, can I call my family and let them know that I love them? You know what I mean? Anyway, I liked Baldur's Gate 3. That game was fun. I never finished it, but it was fun. Peepo JR. What do you guys think? Did any of these games stand out to you guys? I'm guessing not. I don't think anyone's being particularly... Oh, Final Fantasy for the OST? I haven't heard it. Best ongoing. Awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves that player experience over time. Where's Outer Wilds? Guys, where's Outer Wilds? Angry Bird emoji. Is that in 7? Hey, Scenics, are you still here? Or Supercrit name? Angry Bird meme. Do you guys know Angry Bird face meme? Hang on, it's just giving me Angry Birds. Angry Bird face meme. Do you guys know if this is in, is this in 7TV anywhere? This one. Is this anywhere in 7TV? Because if it is, I would love to add it. I can check? Okay. Alright guys, I'll add Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy, 14. No one's complaining, so... No one's complaining, so... Games for impact. For a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. I haven't played any of these. Consume Me? Me on Sinner's Road, the guy that I'm talking to. Despelote. Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. South of Midnight. Wanderstop. I haven't heard of any of these. What do you guys want? Wanderstop is from Stanley Parable Dev? Okay, say less. Say less, I've heard all I need to hear. Whatever I like, I'm telling you, I don't know. I'm telling you, I haven't heard anything about these games. Innovation and accessibility. Assassin's Creed, Atomfall, Doom, EA, South of Midnight. Recognizing software and a hardware that's pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by even a wider audience. I'm gonna vote for Doom, because I haven't played any of these other games and don't know anything about it. Shoe Bill? Okay, hang on, Scenix. If I search Shoe Bill, I'm gonna rename it to Where Is It? Oh my god. Okay, hang on. Crap. No, I want, hang on, I want a better one. I want one where the face is like just super close. Bum ba-da-dum bum bum ba-dum bum bum ba-da-dum bum. Okay, I'm gonna rename this to Where Is It? Maybe just Where Is. Actually, no, Where Is It is fun. Okay. Alright guys, Doom the Dark Ages, of course. Best performance. And scan that. I don't see it? You might have to refresh. Oh, you mean on my streaming software? Yeah, sometimes that happens. Hang on, let me try this. Guys, hold your breath. Guys, take a deep breath, quick. Oh, no. Didn't work. Best performance, awarded to an individual for voice acting. Where's me? Bro, put me on here, what the hell? Ghost, Charlie Cox. Wait, which one was Minoko? Charlie Cox? Flirt, by the way, for that last name. Who did he voice? Was Charlie Cox? Oh, he was Gustav. Gustav, eh? Okay, who was Ben Starr? Minoko? No, I remember Minoko was bald, actually. Ben Starr voiced Verso. Okay. I've never played this game, but I want to choose somebody from Claire Obscura, so let's see Jennifer English. Who did she voice? Voiced Mael. Oh! Parry it! Guys, I have to choose Jennifer English. I have to choose Jennifer English. Mael, God, what a great... You know, if the Minoko's voice actor was there, I think I would have chosen Minoko's voice actor because he did a great job. I loved that voice. Best audio design. Battlefield 6, Claire Obscure, Death Stranding, Ghost of Yotei, Silent Hill F. I don't think I'm gonna choose Battlefield, guys. Oh, sorry, I don't think I'm gonna choose Claire Obscure. Unless, and if no one tells me otherwise, though, I might. Weir Skong. That's that classic Gen Alpha language right there. Ghost of Yotei is good. Come on, that saxophone. Yeah, but is it saying music, though? No, this is best score and music is here. Best audio design is different. I'll choose Ghost of Yotei because no one else is saying anything. There are foxes in Ghost of Yotei, and you can hearing yourself. You can. Chakra's song clears all these games. Oh, guys, can I let you in on a little secret? Hang on. Guys, this is something never before seen. I'm gonna open FL Studio right now. Can I show you this? Let me show you this. I've been working on something. I haven't worked on it in a long time because I'm planning to do it live one of these days. But I've been recording. I have a video idea, and the video idea is, what if Chakra was born into quintuplets? Let me show you this. Hang on. What if Chakra was one of 5 quintuplets? And then listen to this. Hang on. Let me turn these all on. So this is just regular chakra here. Hang on, hang on. You guys are gonna like this, I think. One sec. Let me make this a little bit bigger. That's the video idea, guys, okay? What if chakra was 1 out of 5 quintuplets, okay? And they were all in Silksong. So I think this should be the original chakra. Ready? Okay. Now, I'm not totally happy with how this turned out. I'm not totally happy with it yet. But I recorded like the other 4 sisters, you know what I mean, of chakra. So here's the first one. My timing is a little off. You know what I mean? My timing's a little off. Anyway, so this is the first one. Then I think there's 3 harmonies now. And then here's the next one. And then here's the final one. I was trying to make some like very super unique and like super like almost dissonant harmonies that would eventually get like come back and make it, you know, come home is what you'd say in music, but I wasn't happy with how it turned out. Yeah, I don't know, you know what I mean? The timing is just not quite exactly what I wanted it to be, but guys, here's the thing is like I love doing this stuff. Like I've been playing music for so long. And here's like I have all these ideas. You know, like everything comes back to this, guys. Everything comes back to this. I have all these ideas and then all of my time and attention just goes to making more clips because that's what's making me money. You know what I mean? But when I finally have like free time, like when I can finally have more free time to do stuff like this, I would love to like make like things like this perfect and then come up with these like fun ideas. You know what I mean? But I thought this was interesting. I thought this was cool. Okay, hang on. Okay, guys, back. What were we doing again? Anyway, guys, what were we doing? Oh yeah, that's right. Voting for Silksong or Expedition 33. All right, here we go. Best score on music. I already know exactly what I'm gonna do. Yeah, the track timings are a little bit off. It was hard to get it perfect. I think there's some input delay in my microphone or something. Lorien Testard. Now, guys, okay, here's what I will say. A lot of you are gonna be pissed about this. Oh. Surely nothing's wrong with that, right? So many of you guys are gonna be so pissed about this. Guys, get ready to get Anga. Get ready to start Peepo riding. I'm going back and I'm clipping up my Hollow Knight streams because I never did that. I never clipped up my Hollow Knight streams like I'm doing with my Silksong streams. So I'm going back and I'm listening to the music in Hollow Knight, and it's so good. It's so good. And then I listen to the music in Silksong, and it doesn't quite have that same magic, guys. It doesn't quite have that same magic. Now, I know that I'm going to be in the minority. Voxman, are you being serious? Send me the stems, I can sync them up? That'd be cool. I would use it for a video idea. And I'd give you credit if you want to. Anyway. Like, guys, I'm not joking you. You guys remember how, if you go back and look at my first Hollow Knight playthrough, hang on, just let me cook for a minute. If you go back and you watch my first ever Hollow Knight playthrough ever, it's titled, Hollow Knight blind playthrough or something like that. Blind playthrough might do Strawberry Jam later. Might do Celeste Strawberry Jam later. And the game hooked me so well with the score and the ambience and the songs. It just set the mood so well. And I don't feel like Silksong did that. Like, they did it to some degree. But, like, I didn't really notice it that much. It didn't draw me in like Hollow Knight did. Regular Hollow Knight. So, for that reason, I'm out. And for those reasons, I'm out. And I'm voting for Mother Chimping Expedition 33. Guys, I would say I'm sorry, but I'm not. The Ares and Hollow Knight are more distinct and separate from each other than Silksong, so the songs mesh more and end up sounding the same a lot of the time. I agree. Carmelita in Scarsinger, yes. Carmelita's song is... Like, there are some songs that are very good. You know what I mean? Don't mess with the king dies. Guys, here's what I will say. There are some songs that are absolute bangers in Silksong. Absolute bangers. But, like, I felt like when I was hearing them, I was like, oh, this is a nice surprise. I'm not used to this in this game. This is a nice surprise. So it felt like it was few and far between, and it was almost like a surprise when it happened, whereas in Hollow Knight, every single area you go to is a new vibe. You know what I mean? I don't know, you guys are probably pissed about that, but that's what I think. Yeah, I agree. Widow's a banger. I think The Last Judge has a great soundtrack. I think it's great. Sometimes, like, Choral Chambers reignited my love for the game, but I genuinely can't distinguish some of them. Yes, I agree. I agree. Choral Chambers is very beautiful, and I have half a mind to cover that song, too. Best art direction. Now, this one I don't think is going to be Expedition 33. Outstanding creative and technical achievement in artistic design and animation. No. I mean, maybe. I really wish I would have played these two games because I've seen them a lot. Although, you know, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, how many different universes can Daryl Dixon be in? Like, that's a Gen Q. How many different times is Daryl Dixon going to be taking care of somebody? You know what I mean? Anyway. Also, Dill, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Dill Pickle. Anyway, guys, I might vote for Clair Obscur. I'm not gonna lie. I might actually vote for Clair Obscur. Is this song some kind of spider dance? No. Just look at the Ghost of Yote screenshots for a sec. Okay. Let's look at them together, shall we, guys? Is there any nudity? Oh wait, hang on. Let me move my cam over here. I mean, that does look pretty good. Wow. Okay. Alright, okay. Guys, you can't lie. Actually, seriously, this does look pretty good. Somebody explain to me why this isn't as good as I think it is. Someone explain that to me. Why is this not as good as I think it is? That looks very good. Guys, dare I say it? Dare I say it? The lighting. Because it isn't? What an argument. What an argument. Make this man the president of the United States. Alright, okay. Fine, Juno. Fine. Ghost of Yote. That does look pretty good. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't think if Silksong... Oh, this is gonna piss some of you guys off, but Silksong was essentially just run on the exact... Silksong is Silksong... Okay, hang on. Guys, let me cook. This is gonna make sense. Silksong is the Tears of the Kingdom to Breath of the Wild. The graphical changes were not necessarily even noticeable. Really. You know what I mean? Like, the lighting was certainly better. Seriously, the lighting was better, and it definitely was more beautiful. The game was beautiful. I don't think it was enough of a difference to be best art direction. Like, it looked a bit better than Hollow Knight. So, and Clair Obscur, I think, was... Clair Obscur, sometimes the motion blur was a little weird, and sometimes the... I don't know. It looked great, but, yeah. I'd give it to Hades. Jewel Fruit, welcome back. I agree with IGN's 9 out of 10. The Citadel looks amazing. That's not what I'm not... Wait, the Citadel. Yeah, it does. I mean, yeah, it does. But it looks like it looks like it could have been in Hollow Knight. It just looks a little bit better. It's the same thing as Tears of the Kingdom to Breath of the Wild. It's the same analogy. So, I feel like the cutscenes were better in Skong. Yeah, but they're few and far between. The cutscenes are few and far between. Whereas, at least in Clair Obscur, I mean, how many cutscenes were in Clair Obscur? You know? And all of that's animation. There was such an improvement on character animation. Okay. Alright. Hey, go vote! You know, go vote, guys. Go vote. Your voice deserves to be heard. Best narrative? This one is yeah. Good luck convincing me this is not supposed to be Clair Obscur. Good luck convincing me, guys. I checked in 2018 when Hollow Knight released, it was kind of robbed by Cuphead. Practically a mini-movie. Yeah, I mean, this has to be. Outstanding storytelling and narrative development in game. I have a hard time believing any of these games are better than Clair Obscur. I don't know if you guys, from what I can assume from my own YouTube channel, I don't think a lot of you guys have played this game. But it was phenomenal. It's a phenomenal game. It's very good. The storytelling was amazing. one of my friends describes stories, like I ask him, I'm like, I think it's an interesting take, but one of my friends is like, once you read about 6 or 7 stories, you pretty much know how stories are gonna go. Like, if you read, like, there's 6 or 7 different stories, just like there are, like, core emotions, right? Disgust, happiness, anger, sadness, jealousy, you know what I mean? There are, and then obviously, like, instead of happiness, there's, like, being elated. Like, there's different variations, but they're all, like, I think there's 6 or 7 core emotions, and there's 6 or 7 core stories, and this is his opinion. And once you read those 6 or 7 core types of stories, you pretty much know all of them. And the way that he convinced me to watch Attack on Titan is he's like, it's unlike any story that would fit into that category. And so I watched Attack on Titan and it was phenomenal. I feel the same way about Clair Obscur. Whereas it's unlike any story that I think I've ever experienced. In my opinion. Anyway, guys, welcome back to Tea After Dark. Oh yeah, I forgot, sorry, I said 6-7. My bad. My bad. Yeah, Amori is also fantastic. Amori is also fantastic. Best game direction. Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. What is it? Can somebody explain to me what this means? I need to know what this means before I vote. If you guys are mad now, wait until Game of the Year. Oh, this is the Amori song! Used to call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love. Basically how the game was executed overall in idea and concept. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this, guys. I'm not gonna spend too much time on that. Alright. Game of the Year! Let's see, how many options are there? Game of the Year. How many options are there? We have Clair Obscur, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Guys, can you imagine if Mario Kart World was on here? Imagine if instead of Donkey Kong Bonanza, they had Mario Kart World. Like, imagine they had Donkey Kong Bonanza, and then Silksong wasn't even an option, and it was replaced with Mario Kart World. All right, guys. All right. I swear to God, I'm not just doing this. I swear to God, I'm not just doing this. I really have to go to the bathroom, so I'll be right back. I'll be right back before I vote. No, okay, here's what I will say. I didn't have the anticipation for Silksong. You guys waited 6 years for Silksong. I waited 10 months? You guys waited 6 years. I waited 10 months. It wasn't necessarily anticipated for me. Recognize a game that delivers the absolute best experiences across all creative and technical fields. I can't speak on these two. I can't speak on these two. If here's what I will say though, if this game is the game that I remember it to be, there's no way it's gonna win. There was a lot of complaints I think about Kingdom Come Deliverance and then also the other one, the one where it's like a skeleton or whatever. I'm basically between these two games, guys, and here's what I will say. Here's what I will say. Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. Okay? The best experience. Not the best story. Not the best... Not the best... sound design, not the best... whatever. The best experience. Okay? And here's what I will say. Every time I played Clair Obscur, every single time I played Clair Obscur, I thought it was fantastic. I had a I thought it was great. Sometimes the gameplay was a little slow, okay? If I wanted to 100% of the game, I had to have all those conversations in the Mother Chimping camp. All those chimping conversations just to go up one single relationship level. You know what I mean? Sometimes the gameplay in Clair Obscur was a little bit slow, and it wasn't necessarily as fun as I thought it would be. Hollow Knight Silksong. Every single moment that I was playing that game, I was having a good time. Every single moment. And I also had... the game was phenomenal. I thought the game very much tailored to exactly how I like to stream. So my experience personally with Silksong was amazing. And for those reasons, I'm in Silksong. Silksong, and by the way, to be honest, it's not even close. It's not even close. My experience that I had while playing Silksong is on par with my experience playing Hollow Knight. To be honest, it might even be better. I thought it was phenomenal. Yeah, no, seriously, it's not even close. Expedition 32, you didn't have any of those chimping ants? That's true. That's true. Yeah, Silksong, it's hard to beat Silksong, man, honestly. Clearly, this game is a 9 out of 10. You guys know, I mean, I just have to... Oh, Cuphead? Okay. Alright, let me... Howdy doody, guys. Howdy doody. Here's what I will say. You guys know that there's about, I would say 95% of people that are commenting on my 9 out of 10 videos, that are commenting about the fact that I'm calling it a 9 out of 10, about 95% of them think that I'm being serious. But you guys know that I was being sarcastic, right? I was being facetious in those moments, and I was making a critical commentary on the fact that IGN gave Silksong a 9 out of 10. Now, that being said, based on my experience alone in the game, Silksong, in my opinion, was a 10 out of 10. Now, if I were to try to sit down and nitpick every single little thing about it, and the fetch quests, and the fact that there's so much whatever the hell that IGN said, then maybe I would agree with them. But my experience, poisonally, my experience, 10 out of 10. I thought it was phenomenal. Exactly. If you guys want to know exactly if I'm being serious or not, if I don't say /SRS, then I'm just joshing around, guys. If I don't say /SRS. Now, if I say a /SRS followed by a /EFTR or a /RI, then it's still up for interpretation. Okay, that was easily over 20 seconds, by the way. Easily over 20 seconds. Guy was Peepo gaslighting? Yeah, Scenics, I'm sorry. Walter NPC, welcome to the chat. Alright, guys, I think, you know, this would be a decent time. I think the last thing that I'm gonna do today is we are gonna watch... wait, can I submit this? Am I done now? Should I download my vote card? Votecard.png. Oh yeah, check this out, guys. Look at this. Guys, get your cereals ready for my vote card. Check this out right here. To be fair, most of these things I'd never heard of. To be honest. Or like I at least never played. And these 3 things were voted because they were League of Legends. which I like that game. Anyway. Guys, the last thing that I think I'm gonna do for today is probably watch... I don't have to submit this, do I? Like, it's already done? I think we're good. It says votes cast 29 to 29. I think we're good. The last thing I want to do for today, guys, is probably watch that Mossbag video. So let me change my stream title. Watching Silksong Mossbag video. Okay. Mossbag. Silksong. Oi. 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 Alright, guys, there's tons and tons of lore that I've missed. There's tons and tons of lore that I've missed, in Silksong. I think a lot of times I was focused on just beating the game, because, to be honest, I wasn't super interested in learning about the lore that much. But this is gonna fill in all of the holes that I have in the story. Now, if we were talking about filling in the holes that I didn't fill in Sanders Road, there ain't a single hole that you can find there unfilled. But if we're talking about the holes in the story that I'm uncertain about, this should help with that. Alright, guys, clock in. An hour and 15 minutes? Yes. Yes. Lock in. An hour and 15 minutes, yes.
Oi.
Ever since its release back in September of 2025, people have been debating what the plot of Hollow Knight Silksong even was. Why were all those bugs obsessed with their pilgrimage?
Also, YouTube, if the stream stops, you know why. If the stream stops, you know why, YouTube.
To the Citadel. Who were those mysterious figures who seem to be running the place? And just who exactly is this character? Why is everyone saying her name is Hornet, and calling her a spider and a worm, when she doesn't look like any of those things? This video intends to answer a good 70% of these questions. We will ascend through the land of Farloom, dissecting the game's dialogue and world, in an attempt to wrangle a more complete understanding of Team Cherry's.
I'm not sure if you guys know where this is, but That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say.
Metroidvania masterpiece. But with how recent this game is, please keep in mind that the theories shared here might be lacking a sort of refinement you would expect from deep dive lore videos about other, less recent video game releases. Also, please don't take everything I say in this video as gospel.
Guys, get your Peepo riots ready. Don't take everything in this video as gospel. Get your MFing Peepo riots ready.
I am just one of many people with theories, and nothing makes my words more inherently correct. So don't just automatically believe me when I say stuff like when the slab was built, or that the earth is round, or that now is actually a really good time.
Get the torches, guys. The earth is round. Guys, I can handle child labor, but as soon as you start talking about the earth being round...
to be investing in Ethereum. Oh, and this video will contain massive spoilers, not only for Hollow Knight Silksong, but also Hollow Knight. In fact, you kinda need to know a lot about Hollow Knight's story to really appreciate the story in Silksong. So if you need a refresher on Hollow Knight's lore, be sure to check out my Hollow Knight lore video first.
I should have done that, honestly, because there's so many times during the game where I look over at chat and you guys are like, huh, blood doesn't remember. Blood doesn't remember. Classic.
This video also contains massive spoilers for the hit 2004 film, Shrek the Third. So if you need a refresher on Shrek the Third's lore, be sure to check out my Shrek the Third lore video first. This is the somewhat complete lore of Silksong. The story of Silksong begins with Silk,
grandmother.
More specifically, Grandmother Silk, a higher being described as the primal source of all silk. Silk in the world of Silksong is spun from the soul of its creator, and has the power to heal wounds, extend life, and weave powerful runes. Grandmother Silk is also described...
Here's what I will say. Obviously, there's a parallel between Grandmother Silk and the Pure Vessel. I don't fully understand the relationship between whatever the hell happened at the end with Lost Lace, and how we beat Lost Lace, and then Grandmother's like, take my silk and get the H out of here. I don't really understand that yet, so I'm sure he's going to cover it, but I hope that he does.
Described as a pale being. What exactly are pale beings?
Also, we never went back to that matchmaker.
Some might have you believe they are great beings, worthy of praise above all others. But Hornet wouldn't necessarily agree with that assessment.
I think I'm going to stand up,
guys.
While
pale beings are immensely powerful, they don't always have the best intentions at heart. Pale beings are usually mainly interested in total subjugation from the bugs living beneath them. Hornet, a bug who is half pale being from her father, the Pale King, explains, devotion or destruction. These are the only fates my kind allow. And Hornet doesn't hold the pale beings in her life in particularly high regard. She calls her father...
Hornet doesn't hold anything in high regard. You know what one thing that... Oh my god. My sign just fell down. You know one thing that pisses me off? Hornet's walking through, and I said this before, but one thing that pisses me off is that Hornet, the entire game, Hornet's like, I don't have time to concern myself with these measly tasks. In fact, once I'm done here, I shall never show my face here again. And yet, Hornet spends an hour playing Flea Bounce, you know, like, and an hour in IFL time is like a day in the game time. Like, Hornet's sitting there playing Flea Bounce while Grandmother Silka's going, ah! And Hornet's like, what the hell was that? Anyway, who's up for a game of Flea Bounce, shall we? Mm-hmm. And yeah, at the same time, she's like, I will never return here again when my core mission is done. You know, like Hornet, I feel like Hornet doesn't care about anything.
The Pale King, a fool in the Wingsmold Hunter's journal entry, and she admonishes his wife, the White Lady, inside the Red Memory.
Guys, Grandmother Silk be up there going, Grandmother Silk be up there going, somebody help! Somebody help! I just realized if my neighbors, oh god. I just realized if my, oh god. I just realized if my neighbors can hear me. Oh god. Guys, I'm almost positive I'm gonna get the cops called.
So yeah, Hornet complains about pale beings in her diary, and also gets into arguments with them in her head. Which sounds pathetic, but she really does have a point. But this desire for control among pale beings was no different for Grandmother Silk. We don't know exactly when or how, but at some point in the past, she appeared in the land of Farloom. And while we don't know the exact timeline, we do know her arrival led to the decline of other nearby civilizations.
I'm embarrassed.
One such civilization was an order of blade bugs and hunters, ruled by Crust King Khan. At the height of their rule,
Crust King Khan, by the way. Guys, is anyone else? Is anyone else? Every time I see Crust King Khan, anybody else feel like this? Or is that just me?
Khan's order occupied half of the lands of Farloom. It seems Khan and his warriors were one of the last groups left to stand against Grandmother Silk's influence. But by the time Hornet arrives in Farloom, Khan's kingdom has been all but forgotten, and his lands eroded by sand. Another group taking up residence in the land of Farloom was the Scar, a tribe of ants united in service under the powerful warrior Queen Scarsinger Carmelita. Well,
I'm not joking you. After that, so at the beginning of my second Silksong video, when I go and do that, I make that climb without any of the combat stuff that I'm supposed to have, or any of the mobility stuff I'm supposed to have. And then I beat that one big ant with the one flying ant, which took like 20 tries or whatever. I'm not joking you. I was so pissed off at this area and these ants, like genuinely. I was so genuinely mad about these ants. And I'm not joking you guys. This is like the first time that I've like felt like speciesist in my life. And by the way, I like moths still. I like moths. Even after Hollow Knight. So the fact that the ants were able to break me is a little crazy.
Hornet can still find members of the Scar tribe during her time in Farloom. They seem lost without a true nest, and uncertain if the song they hear is still Carmelita's. Carmelita herself can still be found, but her form has withered, her power faded by time.
Did we find
by
that?
her withered body, she appears to be about 28 or even 29 years old. Another force in Farloom is Nihilith.
Have you guys heard that 28 and 29 is the new 18 or 19?
A plant-like being responsible for sowing the first seed, which would eventually grow into the region of Farloom known as Shellwood. While Nihilith is gone by the time Hornet arrives in Farloom, Shellwood is still filled with life, not fully snuffed out by Grandmother Silk's influence. On the eastern border of Farloom was the land of Verdania, home to twin princes. In a bid to avoid destruction by Grandmother Silk's kingdom, one of the princes gave his life as tribute. But these actions proved futile, as Verdania fell to ruin anyway, leaving the land as nothing but
Guys,
dirt.
honestly, first off, 07 for Green Prince and his boyfriend. Second off, what was that one? You guys remember the boss where I kept singing Mirrors? What was that boss's name again? The one that Mossbag just
In
mentioned?
caverns by the time Hornet finds them. In addition to these different groups within Farloom, there was also a town far above on the surface. When Hornet visits this town in-game, however, it is completely abandoned. Playing her needle in near one of the few remaining corpses reveals the following dialogue. Friends seduced. Sweet promises whispered. The weaving ones beckon. It seems the residents of this town were drawn down into Farloom by the actions of the Weavers, Grandmother Silk's spider children. Much like their
Friends
mother,
seduce, you
these
said.
spiders could produce powerful silk from within their shells, and they even devised various tools and charms as well. Hornet herself is the child of one of these weavers.
Guys, I have a question. You remember how we fought the first sinner? The first sinner, like the boss fight, the first sinner? Is there a second and third sinner? Like, did I just miss those?
Hera the Beast. As for why Hera looks so different from the rest of the weavers, the game never really explains. She's just a weaver that doesn't look like a weaver, similar to how there are humans who just don't look like humans. Either way, all of this means that Farloom was
blood?
actually Hornet's ancestral home, tying her to the land much more deeply than she initially realizes. But what exactly were the weavers doing in Farloom in this time long before the birth of Hornet? And what were these sweet promises they whispered to the bugs of the land? The answer to that question would be the Citadel of Song, an eternal city that has long been drawing in pilgrims from the lands below, compelling them to follow the holy path through the lands of Farloom in hopes of basking and singing in its shining
Yeah, I mean, you guys are right. The Citadel does look great. Like, Vodfrogs, we just voted for Game of the Year, and all the other awards. The Citadel does look great, and the lighting looks phenomenal, and the game definitely does look better than Hollow Knight. I just don't know if it was as much of an improvement, you know?
light. Pilby, the little pilgrim, explains, "Our holy land calls on us. To journey up is our greatest task. Who are we to refuse? Guided by faith, we climb through flaming fields, across rolling moors, and up great gilded steps, all to reach that eternal, shining citadel." Even when Hornet arrives in Farloom, the call of the citadel still pulls in pilgrims. As the chapel maid explains, even now, in Farloom's long decline, the simple bugs, they're witless before it. Too grand, too majestic, too powerful. One possible example.
You know what's
of how
weird
Weavers pulled-
is that, like, so when I voiced this chapel maid character, I was, oh, there you are. It's the citadel above you, you see. And hearing this dialogue spoken without that voice is weird. Like it's actually genuinely weird.
Grant pilgrims was
I may be a little biased
these
though.
Bells located in bell shrines all throughout Farloom. When Hornet rings one in Songclave,
Bye,
the
Blossom.
caretaker admonishes her, saying, "That bell is rung out far and wide. The wretched and the lost will have heard its call. They'll be making their way here now." This exact same bell design can be found near a workbench in Weavenest Atla, indicating that these bells were designed by the weavers, possibly as a tool to help draw pilgrims to the holy path to the Citadel. Bugs arriving at the Citadel of Song were tasked to join the Holy Song. Deep within the Whispering Vaults, Hornet can find Pious Isamor, a giant statue of a pilgrim. While some of Isamor's dialogue is fractured, it seems to be telling pilgrims arriving at the Citadel.
Whoa, what the hell? What? Did I see this? Where the hell is this? Did I ever find this?
True service can now commence. That service being to raise their voices
I don't remember
in
this.
song. Pilgrims arriving at the Citadel could become members of the choir. Devoted members could even rise to the ranks of chorister, reed, and grand reed. They all joined in to see the Citadel's holy song sustained. But hidden beneath the beauty of the Citadel is a cruel system of subjugation designed to trap bugs into a life of endless toil. As Hornet explains, these poor bugs, all are victim of the Citadel and its insidious attraction. This place draws them up into its maw, only to consume them utterly. A good example of this can be found in the Underworks. Bugs are forced to work down there in inhumane conditions.
Bro, how many of you guys too, after, I don't remember when it happened. What was it, the beginning of Act 2? I think it was the beginning of Act 2, right? Where you go down the elevator, or the elevator breaks, and you're just stuck down here. And I think the Whispering Vaults, right? This is Whispering Vaults. And you have to pay for the benches. That was insane. Like, that was just like, okay, Team Cherry, like, you masochists or whatever. That was just crazy.
Being forced to spend what little rosaries they have every single time they want to rest at a bench. There's a rosary-operated confessional for bugs to use, but the message it gives is automated and tells the bugs that their sin must be cleansed by working harder. We can see this mindset internalized by Loam.
Okay, first off, what the hell is this? First off, when did I ever see this? Second off, guys, return your task and off cycle.
Must be
Neither eating nor supping until the new cycle begins.
By working harder. We can see this mindset internalized by Loam, a bug endlessly running on a treadmill, believing that the Citadel will eventually reward him for his hard work. Me cannot rest. Us works and Citadel breeds.
Where the hell is this? Whispering Vaults? How much stuff did I miss in Whispering Vaults? I missed so much stuff.
Sing, and all is right. And when us works enough, them sees it. Them sees it, and us gets us holy reward. Hornet can actually help Loam work by running on a nearby treadmill. After 45 seconds or so of running, a single rosary might pop out of the device, further illustrating how the faith of these bugs is exploited for labor. Another example of a bug fully buying into the Citadel's religion.
Hey, this guy we met.
Old Penitent. The Old Penitent is a bug locked away in the slab, a prison complex built to punish those convicted of sinning against the Citadel. But the Old Penitent doesn't view a situation that way, saying to Hornet,
Underworks, yeah, Underworks.
"Prisoner, I understand you not. There is no prison here. This is a holy place of forgiveness. Please, speak with reverence." Even after being freed by Hornet, he refuses to leave, saying, "By the grace of the Citadel, I am here as a penitent. Here I can hide from the shame of my sins, until they are withered away by time."
Okay, seeing this word penitent here, seeing penitent, hang on, here, I swear to God, Mossbag better explain what the hell all of the first of the fourth, the fifth of the eighth of the cup of the penitent, like whatever the hell all that stuff was. I really hope we get an explanation for that.
This place, please, strike me down dead before you speak such blasphemy again. The Old Penitent also has the following Needleland dialogue. From wastes, from darkness, drawn down, blessed call. Sisters, accord. Silence above. This dialogue seems to indicate that the Old Penitent was one of the bugs from the nameless town above. He was drawn into Farloom by whispered promises, and found himself locked away in a prison cell he can never leave. But the cruelty of the slab doesn't just end with the prisoners.
He definitely could have left, right? Weren't we like, hey, let's get out of here? And he was like, no, I'm good. I'm fine.
Jailers are trapped here. The Old Penitent explains, they too are penitents. In a past age, That caste committed their own sacrilege against the Citadel, a sin long forgotten, but so grave that their offspring and the offspring of their offspring carry the guilt with them still. To serve here is their only hope of absolution. The fate of the Guardflies makes clear that the Citadel is just about using guilt and sin as justifications to force bugs into endless servitude. Hornet is generally a fairly nice person.
Here's what I will say. I know that I was missed in the slab. I know, because I've seen different clips of it, but I know that I was supposed to be captured in the slab and put into prison. And if what Mossbag is saying is right, if you have to basically repent for all of your sins committed in the slab, and that's the whole lore of that area, I would have been in there for life. I'd have been in there for life with how much chimp went down at Sinner's Road, guys. That's what I will say.
Always trying to help people and do the right thing, but even she has no sympathy for the Guardflies and genuinely wants them all dead. She's like me with grubs. Given what can happen to Hornet during the events of Silksong, I can't really say that I'm surprised she feels this way. Hornet even hopes that killing the matriarch of the jailers, Broodmother, will end their race for good. But if she returns to the Broodmother arena, it turns out a new broodling has already appeared to carry on
I
the
remember
species.
this. I remember this.
For some reason, the game won't let Hornet kill the baby. This is an example of ludonarrative dissidence. But these aren't the only bugs born into a special kind of service. The Squirm of the Blasted Steppes were seemingly chosen by the Citadel to act as judges of the...
Here's what I will say. Cover your ears if you want to hear something. Here's what I will say. If the game let you kill that child bug, I would have done it in a heartbeat.
Pilgrims approaching the Grand Gate. A lore tablet just outside a Squirm nest reads, "Bug born of Farloom, you have been chosen. May our Citadel's holy gilding harden your soft shell. Stand eternal as our arbiter, that no bug-bearing sin shall step within our sacred halls." If Hornet plays the needle in for the Squirm found here, they will beautifully sing, "Let's grow holy. Let's grow stronger. We are chosen. All are chosen. We will serve. All will serve." It seems from birth these creatures are brainwashed by the Citadel into believing that they are doing holy work by using a mallet to brutally bash in the heads of any pilgrim they happen to think is guilty of sin. Similarly, the Vaultborn, found in the Whispering Vaults.
How the hell do they deem... How do you look at someone and know if they've committed a sin? Well, okay, actually, here's what I will say. Here's what I will say. If you were walking past me and the boys in Sinner's Road, it'd be pretty obvious.
Are literally raised in dark vaults and then forced to become scroll readers for the Vault Keepers. Unlike the Broodling, Hornet can kill the baby Squirm and Vaultborn, so hopefully Team Cherry will patch the game so you can actually kill this thing. But the Citadel's system of cruelty didn't just stop with the borders of the Citadel itself. The
Noble,
bugs
welcome to the
underneath
stream.
also fell victim to its whims. One such area affected by the Citadel is Greymoor. According to Krull and Benjin, the two best characters in the game,
Garf and Flarf, that is.
Greymoor used to grow all sorts of food, but at some point the Citadel ordered these bugs to instead dedicate themselves to catching the silk dregs that drifted down from the Citadel and re-spool them. As a result, the bugs of Greymoor had to resort to a less involved form of farming, breeding muckroaches for their disgusting roach.
Guys, here's what I will say. Oh, the muckroaches. Ah, the muckroaches, you say. Guys, here's what I will say. I cannot get the image... When I said, like, guys, let's go visit Garf and Flarf or whatever, I genuinely could not remember their names. Genuinely. And I knew you guys would know who I was talking about. But I can't get the image out of my head. Spoilers, by the way. Spoilers, by the way. When you walk back into whatever they're... Something in Benjin. Garf and Flarf. You walk back into Garf and Flarf's house, and you just see them dead. And then I looked over at chat, and I saw Clusp was typed that emo that's like, no! That emote, and all it said was, Garf! Garf! No! I will never, I swear to God, for as long as I remember Silksong, I will never forget that.
Guts. The smog and exhaust of the Citadel was rerouted using the exhaust organ, and dumped into current-day biowater, polluting the region and incurring the hatred of the Still Kid, a faction of swamp dwellers skilled in trap setting. Now, I know a lot of you watching this are huge fans of biowater, and of course I am too. But in the lore, the creation of biowater should be seen as a bad thing. The Citadel even turned on their own...
1 second. I had to close my door. Bile water's a bad thing, guys? Who would have thought?
Warriors. There once was an order of pin-wielding maidens known as the Pinstresses. As the last remaining member of the cast, hidden away at the edge of the blasted steppes, explains, "Our Grand Citadel learnt well from the training of Pinstresses past. Then it went and turned those teachings upon us. Despite our superior skills, our numbers have always been few, and their strength overwhelmed. Of my once revered order, only 2 of us remain, wormed away in Farloom's forgotten corners, and my Pin sibling, she's lost herself to more peaceable pursuits. The only other living member, Seamstress, has given up her violent past, instead turning to stitching and sewing, but the decommissioned automaton near her home indicates that she was indeed a powerful warrior at some point. A third Pinstress can be found in the putrefied ducts, but she's long dead by the time Hornet finds her. It's not clear why the Citadel targeted these women.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I do remember going there. Was that after the mist? That's the thing you find at the end of the mist, or is that somewhere else? I do remember seeing that. I didn't know that was the third Pinstress, or the third Pinstress, though.
Perhaps their strength was viewed as a threat to the Citadel's order. I mean, who wouldn't be afraid of this absolute beast? Bugs from the Forge home were requested to relocate to the Deep Docks, under the promise of holy esteem from the Citadel. And bugs of the Deep Docks that were not fulfilling their duties were punished by 4 brothers Cygnus and Gron, although the extent of all this is unknown. The Citadel demanded everything they possibly could of these bugs, even trying to deny them death itself. A bulletin board located in a Ventrica station reads, "Due to unacceptably high injury and unsanctioned deaths, Ventrica travel shall henceforth be denied to all. For Farloom Eternal, a bug who serves must never die." The Citadel doesn't want its bugs to die, not out of any concern for the bugs themselves, but because dead bugs can't serve the Citadel. All of the Citadel's cruelty was in service to continuing its song eternally.
Did I not already make this comparison before? But is Silksong not just the epitome of capitalism, guys? Where you sit there, you put your blood, sweat, and tears into the Lost Lace fight for 2 hours. And then you also see another ending, and you get 3 different Steam achievements, and you go up 0%. Yet if you spend a couple of rosaries and buy a couple of tools, you go up as many percentages points as you want. Guys, if that's not the epitome of capitalism, I don't know what is. Also, Sliced Bread, welcome to the chat.
But what exactly is this song the Citadel is making pilgrims sing? And what does any of this have to do with Grandmother Silk? None of these pilgrims even mention her. To answer these questions, we have to talk about the Citadel's true purpose, that of a cage. Maskmaker explains this for us in no uncertain terms. At one point, Hornet can say to him, "You speak of the Citadel. Its former function has failed, but I can still sense its purpose, some. It is church and cage both." To which Maskmaker replies, "Aye, devised by your ancestors, that monstrosity, and their wicked, clever minds. A system, or a web they'd likely call it. A way to keep their mother sealed in slumber, and themselves free to lavish in their false rule." With this dialogue interaction, we know that the Citadel itself was actually a system devised by Hornet's ancestors, the Weavers, as a way to keep Grandmother Silk trapped in slumber. This is alluded to in the poem displayed at the beginning of the game, Farloom's Folly.
Wait, why do they want to keep her trapped in slumber, though? Is he going to explain that, or did he already explain that?
The poem reads, "They see your beauty, so frail and fine. They see your peace, woven of faith and toil. They forget your heart, bound in slumber and servitude. When you wake, they shall see your truth, a beast's nature bare to all." This poem is specifically about the relationship between the inhabitants of Farloom and Grandmother
Chimp
Silk.
your mouth!
The first line describes how the bugs of Farloom perceive Grandmother Silk's beauty. This might be referring to her silk, or the fact that Grandmother Silk fuels the existence of the Citadel. The second line emphasizes that Grandmother Silk is only a piece due to the faith and toil displayed by the bugs of the Citadel. The third line states that Grandmother Silk is bound in slumber and servitude. We can see this clearly when visiting the cradle at the top of the Citadel. Grandmother Silk can be found here, sleeping inside a giant cocoon of silk. Underneath this cocoon, we can see that several strands of silk have been pulled out in parallel. The bugs of the Citadel have constructed a giant loom to extract the precious silk from their sleeping monarch. They have even made this image of the cocoon inside a crook the symbol of their entire kingdom. But the last 2 lines of Farloom's Folly tell us that Grandmother Silk's subjugation won't last forever, and once she awakens...
Bro, how many times is Blood gonna say subjugation, guys? I mean, come on, we get it. We get it.
Bugs of Farloom will have to face her true, beastly form. Huh, I wonder if this will be important later. It seems this slumber was achieved through the song sung by the pilgrims of the Citadel. Inside the Whispering Vaults, Hornet can find the corpse of the Vault's pontiff, accompanied by a sacred psalm cylinder, a device containing the melody of the Vault Keepers.
Here's what I will say, by the way, too. I didn't feel bad about killing many things in Silksong. Truly, I did not. There are many things I killed in Silksong totally fine with. But every time these little MFers were singing and like just vibing and having a good time, like, okay, I can't play too much of this because YouTube's gonna copyright me. But I always like considered it like, just imagine you're just chilling, like you're just chilling with your homies, and you're just sitting there going like. And then before you can even react, someone's coming up and ruthlessly murdering you. You know what I mean? I did always feel kind of bad about that. I'm not going to lie to you.
Genius explains, only our pontiff lived long and low within our vault. They held the melody, jealously, covetously, a learning for the highest vault keeper, and them alone. A truth they were told to have found, there in the dark, something within the melody or the words, something to set them silent. We're never explicitly told what that melody contains, but playing the needle in near the pontiff's corpse reveals the following messages. Damned bugs. We prayed a cage. We sang your chains. Divine silk. This indicates that the songs and prayers
Guys, those damned bugs
of the Citadel were actually designed to imprison Grandmother Silk, and this truth was hidden from the bugs of the Citadel. This appears to be corroborated by the Weaver lore tablet located near the Weaver corpse spire in Moss Home, which reads, Sister, Spider, husk bound to moss, watch over these bugs born low, raised up by fervor fostered, born and caught within our web unknowing. The pilgrims weren't even aware of Grandmother Silk's existence. Instead, it was the Weavers that were seen as holy. Weaver effigies found throughout the land show that the pilgrims prayed to the Weavers, viewing them as graceful, blessed, and even divine. Even by the time Hornet arrives in Farloom, massive burial spires dedicated to the Weaver corpses can still be found, with plaques built by the pilgrims stating that they offer song to the Weavers eternal. Even some of the inhabitants of the Citadel hold deference to Hornet, referring to her as a first child. But why exactly did the Weavers turn on Grandmother Silk in the first place? Was she just a really callous and cruel monarch, similar to Lord Farquaad in the 2001 hit film Shrek 1? Our best glimpse into what life looked like for the Weavers while living under Grandmother Silk is from...
Yeah, so here's the thing. Why is everyone throwing shade at Grandmother? Because Grandmother, when push came to shove, Grandmother offered us the rest of her silk so that we could shoot up with the needle in and carry lace the hell out of the abyss. You know what I mean? So what the hell is everybody... Like, something tells me that Grandmother's like is literally going to be identical to like a Hollow Knight, like the Hollow Knight, where everyone thinks that they're bad, but they're really not.
Memory of Widow, the only Weaver still alive in Farloom by the start of the game. After defeating her, we see a memory of the Weavers playing harps as Grandmother Silk watches over them. The following dialogue then appears on screen. For her light, eternal.
Hi, Jesse.
Our song sustains. We know that Grandmother Silk does want song, as the Silkheart memory in Whiteward says the following lines. Their voices, their song, to devote, eternal. They are ours, bound forever. So before the Citadel, the Weavers had to sustain song for the monarch eternally. The Weavers must have felt trapped in this system and decided to create the Citadel, using a new song to put Grandmother Silk to sleep and enthrall the pilgrims of Farloom in their fake religion. Through this action, the Weavers not only obtained freedom from sustaining the eternal song, but they also came to perceive themselves as the rulers of Farloom. The harps the Weavers first played the eternal song on for Grandmother Silk.
Guys, YouTube, good luck with this one. Guys, the Weavers, Peepo.js, Piano Time, Grandmother Bedge,
can still be found in the cradle, fallen completely into disuse. A thread memory of Widow can be found here, likely because she is the only Weaver still loyal to Grandmother Silk, but we'll talk about her more later. Aside from Widow, another Weaver Hornet sort of meets is a being known as First Sinner. This Weaver's lore is also very difficult to make sense of, but seems relevant to our current discussion. First Sinner can be found locked away in a cage sealed with runes. Inside the cage, a Weaver corpse can be found. She offers to bind her strength to Hornets, but unlike the other corpses, This action actually awakens First Sinner, who tries to murder Hornet. However, this fight appears to take place in some kind of memory, as opposed to in real life, since dying in this fight doesn't spawn a cocoon. So it seems First Sinner is just a memory here.
Guys, who's ready for Pantheon 5 of Farloom? I'm ready for Pantheon 5 of Farloom, and it's, by the way, it's not even gonna be hard. If Lost Lace is the ending of Pantheon 5 of Farloom, it's gonna be the easiest fight that I've ever experienced in my life.
Not actually alive. If First Sinner is defeated, Hornet witnesses a memory from her revealing the true nature of the Weavers. It seems Grandmother Silk actually evolved the Weavers from Farlids, common bugs found in Farloom.
Lost her lace.
First Sinner reflects on this revelation saying, "She called us daughters. She called us divine. She lied." Hornet even mentions that the
absolutely
Farlids remind
lost
her of
lace
herself in some way. First Sinner's rage seems to be a mixture of feeling cursed with silk given to her by Grandmother Silk and being cursed to know the truth of her nature. We also know she had the power to weave silk into blazing runes, which she uses extensively in her fight. As a side note,
guys, okay, be honest, okay, just put your pitchforks down and put your torches down. Just be honest. Was anyone else a little bit disappointed about how this ability was?
Extensively in her fight.
I thought this ability was going to be so goated, but like, it only was like kind of useful sometimes.
As a side note, in the game's code and concept art for First Sinner, she is referred to as First Weaver. So perhaps First Sinner remembers the truth about the Weaver's origins because she was the first Farlid to ever be transformed. So why was First Sinner locked up? The tablet placed over the cage says the following.
Can I say something that's going to evoke some rage in some of you? Because I just saw someone's comment about this. Guys, just be prepared to be Enga, okay? I saw lots of times people complain about the Savage Beastfly. I've seen many complaints about Savage Beastfly online. And someone even typed in my YouTube video, they were like, wow, 3 tries for Savage Beastfly. And I think the second time I fought Savage Beastfly, like Enraged Beastfly, whatever the hell it's called, it took me 2 tries, I think. And I don't... You know what? Never mind. I'm doing exactly what I hate reading, so never mind. Never mind, guys. Listen, here, okay, I'll conclude my thought with this. It took me 4 hours to beat the gauntlet. Okay? That's what I conclude my thought with.
Penitent. First of the first. Guilty of the sin of apostasy. Penance by constriction. Absolution denied. One possibility is that First Sinner is the catalyst that set off the Weavers turning against Grandmother Silk. Perhaps she was imprisoned by Grandmother Silk for calling her a liar and revealing her secret, and this convinced the other Weavers to turn on her too.
God, bro, don't even remind me of Queso. God, I just get so angry thinking about him, bro. Don't even bring him up.
Our Silk, our rage, perhaps implying that she led the first resistance group against Grandmother Silk. This interpretation gives us a good motive for why the Weavers turned on Grandmother Silk, but I have a few issues with it. We are told the Citadel was devised by the Weavers, and describing First Sinner as a penitent feels very much in line with the Citadel. They are the ones who came up with the entire Faith and Toil system, not Grandmother Silk. Second, if Grandmother Silk chained up First Sinner, why is she still chained up now? Why wasn't she freed or given a proper burial? Third, we see the Citadel sigil, the silk cocoon, on the cage itself, further supporting that this cage was created by the Citadel. I think it makes more sense to say First Sinner was imprisoned by her fellow Weavers. In this case, the sin of apostasy committed by First Sinner was claiming the Weavers weren't divine. This revelation would have been devastating to the Weavers' control of Farloom. They needed to be seen as divine by the Pilgrims, so they decided to seal First Sinner away, regardless of whether or not they even believed her.
Oh my god.
I think this explanation ties in better with the information we have to work with. As for the "our rage" line, it seems First Sinner is mimicking a lot of the dialogue found near other Weaver corpses. All the other Weavers say, "our silk, our memory," not "our rage." First Sinner also calls Farloom accursed instead of haunted, and she kind of lies to Hornet about letting her bind her. So I think some of First Sinner's dialogue can be explained by her being a bit deceiving, compared to her sisters who are a bit more straightforward about what they want from Hornet. Alternatively, our rage could imply other Weavers joined First Sinner's anger, but were also imprisoned by the Weavers running the Citadel. Overall, I think First Sinner's fate is a reflection of just how far the Weavers will go to cling onto their rule of Farloom. They would much rather imprison one of their own kin than admit the fact that they
You know, the first center fight was the first time I remember thinking like, holy hell, this chimping boss is so aggressive. Like Monka aggressive, you know what I mean? Like the first center just would never slow down and would just, oh my god. It was like, it just felt overwhelming. Like even Lost Lace felt less aggressive than the first center.
Divine beings. Perhaps that was the only choice they had to keep the web of the Citadel from collapsing. Regardless, it seems the Weaver's reign over the Citadel was not destined to last.
Does this not look like the Rick and Morty universes? Look at this. Hang on. I don't know if I can pull this on stream, but the Rick and Morty universe where people have butts for faces instead of like butts for faces and faces for butts. Does this not kind of look like that a little bit?
We know at some point control of the
I don't know,
Citadel
guys. Maybe
was
I've been
handed
spending too
over
much
to the
time in
Citadel
Sinner's Road.
bugs. Conductor Balador tells us this explicitly when he says, "The mantle of rule, claimed greedily from Farloom's fading first children, those bitter weavers. It was yoke, not crown." In Balador's
What?
possession
What?
is a
Am I wrong? Am I wrong or not? Does it not kind of look like that? You're about to make me pull up the picture.
rune harp, an ancient weaver recording instrument containing the last words of the weavers, which reads, "Sisters, spiders, the burden is past. These simple bugs
Zed,
shall
thanks for the
bear it in
follow.
full. Never to cease.
Thanks for the follow,
never
Zed.
to silence.
Thanks for
We
letting me
shall
know that
die
you
and
agree they
wait
look like
and
butts.
pray that one may come of silken strength enough to weave us free." This record and Balador's comments tell us that running the Citadel was a difficult task, and at some point the Weavers decided to flee Farloom. In the lower lands of Farloom, Hornet can find
Okay, so
strange-
you're telling me the Weavers deliberately constructed the Citadel deliberately. They were the ones that constructed it, right? The Weavers. And then they left because it was too hard? Is that like an oh no, the consequences of my own action type deal?
gates barring access to various weave nests. In these weave nests, it seems the Weavers schemed against Grandmother Silk. In Weave Nest Atla in Moss Grotto, Hornet can find a lore tablet that reads, "This low her
Bye,
days
Shadow Master.
escaped. Prepare, sisters, weave hope anew, that we might break free this accursed web born of our naive foundation." It seems at some point during their rule, it became clear to the Weavers that they could not keep Grandmother Silk trapped in slumber using song forever. Instead, they would have to devise a new plan to deal with her. One such plan was Eva.
I just like the idea. I just like the idea of someone just going like, just watching me watch this video, just going, I don't know if Blood's totally won me over yet. And then I pause the video and go, don't these guys kind of look like they have butts for faces? And then that person goes, I didn't realize I was watching a man of culture. Click follow.
Also found in Weave Nest Atla.
Yo, it says welcome to the chat.
Strange being confined to live her life within an iron shell. She is a child of the Weavers, but created from rune and shell
God, I love this
instead
area.
of more traditional methods. There are two other aspects regarding the nature of
Slice
Weavers I
bread,
have
thanks
yet
for
to
the follow.
mention. First of all, it seems there are only female Weavers, considering they always refer to each other saying sisters. This is similar to how all Labubus are female. So that's pretty cute. Second, Weavers
I don't
are
get it.
born
I'm
with a
too old
curse
to
that
get
makes
that
the
joke.
act of conceiving a child excruciatingly painful, rendering it a near impossible task.
Can someone who's young explain the little boo-boos joke?
I was unable to find any information on if conceiving a child is excruciatingly painful for Labubus, unfortunately. As someone who also finds the act of getting pregnant extremely difficult himself, I relate a lot to
Was
the
that
Weavers
Mossbag?
here. I suspect this aspect of their nature is due to Grandmother Silk, and the idea that she made them like this supports the idea that she only ever wanted the Weavers so they could serve her. You might wonder why the Weavers created such a cruel system with a citadel, but it seems they didn't have the best role model. But not all Weavers were doomed to be barren. Horn explains to Eva that her mother was able to overcome the curse's limits, which sounds impressive until you remember there are dozens of little Weavers running all over Deep Nest and Hollow Knight. Hopefully Team Cherry will explain exactly what's going on with these things, because as of right now, it makes me uncomfy. The Weavers weren't too happy with their creation though. A rune harp found in Weave Nest Atla reads, "Hide her deep, the despised child, our shame shown in shell of iron. She is a wish cast vain, divinity mimicked in form too frail." It seems Eva was an attempt by the Weavers to create a divine being capable of usurping Grandmother Silk, but she failed to be the powerful being they had hoped for. This is similar to the events depicted in the hit film Shrek 2, where Shrek and company created the giant gingerbread man, Mongo, who also tragically suffered from his form being too frail for the task assigned to him. Another attempt by the Weavers to stop the awakening of Grandmother Silk was through the creation of the Snare Setter. One can be found in Weavenest Atla, and needle and dialogue observable there shows the Weavers hoped it could be used to keep them free. Eva explains the purpose of the Snare Setter more plainly.
Guys, here's what I will say. Face down, pensive face down, fist up emoji for Ava. She didn't deserve that.
Small things, but tests for larger forms. I still remember their thoughts as they worked, their desperation and their hunger. Another hopeless attempt to wrest their freedom. All ended in failure, of course. In Weavenest Merglin in Bilewater, a lore tablet mentions that the Weaver's silk will wane at some point, perhaps indicating that the Weavers knew their power was fading. The strangest place a Weavenest can be found is deep below Farloom in the Abyss. The Abyss in Farloom is very similar to the one found in Hallownest. It features the same void tendrils, a lake of void, and massive spires. There's even hints of the ancient civilization here too. At one point, Hornet refers to the void as being below all things, perhaps indicating that no matter where you are in the world of Hollow Knight, if you go down far enough, you'll find the Abyss. In Weavenest Absalom, there is evidence of the Weavers researching the void. A rune
I never killed Ava. Trust me on that one, I never killed Ava. All I did was utilize her utility.
Depicting the void tendrils can be found, and it seems the Weavers were able to collect void within glass jars. But it doesn't seem like the Weavers went much further with any of their void experiments, as nothing here seems to have been used against Grandmother Silk at all. In fact, it doesn't seem like any of these traps or mechanisms worked. The only thing left the Weavers could do was flee. In Weavenest Syndril in Farfields, hidden in a secret room, Hornet can find a map depicting pathways out of Farloom. The nearby runeharp reads, "Flee, sisters. Flee until your strength exhausts. So far you may escape at last her silken sight. To start anew, to sustain, free of web and service eternal." So to briefly summarize, it seems at some point during their rule, the Weavers realized they couldn't keep Grandmother Silk in slumber indefinitely. Whether that was because they weren't bringing in enough pilgrims, or because of their own waning silk, or because 90% of the bugs in this kingdom can't sing for shit, it was clear something had to be done.
What the hell? That's my boy! That's my boy that they're talking about! All the bugs can't sing for chimp? You ain't heard my boy Pavo? Oh! Oh!
The Weavers experimented with creating their own god,
Come on,
but that
Mossbag.
didn't work. They tried to construct a tool to bind Grandmother's silk tight, but that also failed. So ultimately the Weavers decided to flee Farloom. The only problem was that doing so would end the Citadel's song, hastening Grandmother Silk's awakening. To combat this, the Weavers decided to hand the Citadel over to the bugs themselves, tricking them with a technique we in the crypto space call a rug pull. Despite their flight, the Weavers didn't entirely lose hope. It seems the Weavers prayed for one of silken strength to one day come and free them from their web. A few Weavers even stayed behind so that they could help this savior should they ever make their way to Farloom. The Weavers also left servitors to watch over their weave nests and await their return. By the time Hornet arrives in Farloom, it seems there are three main factions in charge of running the place: the Conductors, the Vault Keepers, and the Architects. The game isn't exactly clear when these different factions took shape within the...
You know what's weird? You know what I find weird? Is why are all these super important people that apparently are like running all of Farloom and even running all of Hollow Knight, they just like sit somewhere and they never go anywhere. They're just like sitting in a corner or something. And yet they're like they're running everything, or you know what I mean? It's a little weird.
Citadel. It appears they've been around since before the Weavers left, given that both Vaultkeeper Cardinius and the 12th Architect seem well aware of the Weavers. These three factions were also given the threefold melody, which pilgrims needed to reach the cradle. The Conductors seem to have the most responsibility, declaring edicts, sanctioning projects, and even getting directly involved with various experiments within the Citadel. They also seem to be in the know about the Citadel's true purpose as a cage for Grandmother Silk, giving Conductor Romano's incredibly ominous poem, Farloom's Folly, as well as Conductor Balador's possession of that one extremely incriminating...
Who was sick? Blood? Blood was sick? The one that's like, I'm behind a curtain, and I talk like this. And you can't see me from behind the curtain, but I'll give you an item that you can't remember either.
Runeheart.
That one?
This knowledge seems to weigh heavy on the conductors. Ballador questions if he would have ever accepted the duty if he had known the cost. And of course, Conductor Romano's poem seems to indicate a sense of disdain for the Citadel. While we never see Conductor Romano in-game, we do see a conductor's mask all the way on the edge of Farloom. Whether this was Romano's mask or not, it seems one conductor chose to flee Farloom for good instead of bearing the mantle of rule. I'll be honest, I'm sure being a conductor isn't the easiest job in the world, but it's gotta be better than being the guy who has to feed maggot gruel to muckroaches all day. It's gotta be an order of magnitude more difficult, I swear.
That's considered a hard job? Guys, I've been feeding muckroaches for as long as I can remember. Don't ask me what I've been feeding them. But trust me, it ain't as hard as it sounds. Well, something's hard, but not that job, I'll tell you that.
The Vault Keepers were charged with guarding the secrets of the Citadel. The scroll readers spent their entire lives reading and memorizing prayer scrolls. They also kept psalm cylinders of various prayer songs that could be played back using the proper equipment. From Vault Keeper Cardenius' dialogue, it seems the Vault Keepers viewed the acquisition of knowledge as a way to transcend their own minds and bodies.
Wasn't this sad? That moment when Vault Keeper was crying, that was legit actually pretty sad. I can't be the only one that thought that, right? That was actually kind of sad.
This is also interesting in that he really hates the Weavers, calling them cursed and implying that they bring death wherever they go. So it's possible the Vault Keepers were aware of some nefarious deeds done by the Weavers during their rule. But Chakra also calls them vicious, so it's possible the views on Weavers changed all over Farloom after they left. The architects seem tasked with maintaining the Citadel itself, creating the Cogwork core, as well as developing new technologies for the Citadel to use. Much of their craft is owed to the tools created by the Weavers.
Guys, what was that one psalm called? Like, Sounds of Torture or something? Torturing, whatever. And you put it on and it's just like weird mechanical noises. That was actually pretty unsettling, honestly. That might have been like one of the most unsettling things in this game. Oh, the surgery, yeah.
Similar to the Weavers,
that was so weird.
Seems the architects were also interested in creating life. The first architect designed the first Cogwork Heart, which was used in the Sentinels, an order of knights that served the Citadel. According to the 12th architect, the Sentinels ventured, even beyond these walls, to see all bugs brought forced safe to serve the Citadel. The use of the word forced here kinda makes me think the Sentinels were kidnapping bugs to work in the Citadel, but the Sentinel we meet in-game is pretty nice, so I really don't want to believe that they did something kind of problematic like kidnapping. But it wasn't just the Sentinel robots
guy
that
with
the
heart.
architects created. The numerous Cogworks enemies that populate the core of the Citadel also owe their construction to the architects. But the source of their power seems to come from somewhere else. Whenever one of these machines is destroyed, these strange white flies escape from their shells. These flies are never directly referenced by anyone in-game, but in the files they are called silk flies. And
the same white flies that you see in the mist that guide you in the right direction.
These things show up all over Farloom. But where exactly do they come from? I believe the answer to that question can be found in the White Ward, a sub-area of the Citadel that provided the setting for horrible experiments. It's here where bugs of the Citadel had silk injected directly into their shells. It seems this was done to extend the life of the bugs. The caretaker explains. Just
Why is this getting a little Wonka?
Shoving the silk into their shells. The madness that overcame them. Eternal life for mortal bugs. The Citadel's reasoning for this can be explained by a lore tablet found within White Ward that says, Oath of the White Ward. While song must be sung, none may falter. Infirmary, sickness, death, all are banished from our Citadel. In other words, the Citadel couldn't afford to lose bugs to death because they needed to continue singing the song, keeping Grandmother Silk in slumber. If bugs did die, their bodies were cremated so the silk could be recovered. This process of recycling...
Can somebody explain to me why singing a song would keep someone asleep? And why does everybody have to be doing it? Has he already explained that? Why does everyone have to be singing the song to keep grandmother asleep?
Silk over and over again caused the wills and pain of these bugs to live on through the silk, trapped in a state of torture even after death. But it seems the bugs of the White Ward went even further with their experiments. It seems the silk flies, found inside of the Cogworks bugs, were also created here. Inside White Ward, we can find a strange device, referred to as a silk siphon within the game's code. Huddled around this device are these silk flies. We can also see silk flies trapped inside this container, and an identical container can be found in the center of the silk siphon. One of these containers can also be found on the ground next to the 12th Architect. Playing the Needle in the silk siphon room reveals the following dialogue. One line in particular is interesting to me. To serve, beyond shell. To the right of this room is a chamber filled with hundreds of corpses. A choral commandment can be found at the end of the room, which reads, Bug of voice grown hoarse or shell fallen frail, you have been selected for duty most sacred. Become our light, our guide in darkness, that others worthy may climb to join the holy song. So it seems the Citadel was
Okay, yeah, I understand what you guys are saying, but... and... what if there's like one bug that like stops singing? Like if everyone's like, and then like for like 2 seconds, one bug, you know what I mean? Is like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like I'm so sick of this stupid song. And stop singing. Like, his grandmother, like grandmother goes from this to, like, you know what I mean? How does grandmother know if one person's not singing?
Forming the silk-infused souls of bugs into silk flies that could be used to provide light for the kingdom of Farloom, as well as power the various automatons working within the
Also,
core.
what the hell is that?
Even massive constructs like the fourth
What is the
Chorus
little
release
heat-seeking
several dozen
bombs?
silk flies when they're destroyed. Given the silk flies seen on the 12th Architect's corpse after they die, it seems the Architects were also powered by silk flies. The only exception to this I've found is the Cogwork Dancers, which we know were created not from the soul of a Farloom bug, but from the soul of one of the princes of Verdania. When speaking to the Green Prince after defeating the Cogwork Dancers, Hornet says, his soul is now free from that shell of iron. It seems Weavers were still in Farloom when the silk flies were created, since we can see a few of them in Weavenest Atla. We can even see some of them in the Carmelita memory, so it seems they've been around for a long time. We know that some things changed throughout the lifespan of the Citadel, but it can be difficult to track down exactly when these changes took place. For example, in one section of the Citadel, there's an unused statue base. The statue that used to be here was...
Narco, I love that concept. I love the concept of grandmother just bedge the entire time, just... And then as soon like if the song's like fa boo do re da boo do re welcome grandmother sit, and one like instead of doing it perfectly, one person's like fa boo do re da boo, and grandmother's like Gah! Wakes up instantly and just goes, "Who was it? Which one of you did that? You sing, just you by yourself." Actually, guys, that's a mixture between. Imagine combining Silksong and Whiplash, the movie, into one game, where grandmother's like, not quite my tempo, not quite my tempo, you sing now. And they're like so scared they can barely, and then instantly dead.
likely Pius Isamor.
Guys, by the way, I have to leave soon, so I'm going to turn this into 1.5 speed. Hopefully you guys are okay with that.
Who was at some point hidden away within the Whispering Vaults. Pius Isamor mentions that the Citadel is built from simple stone, bare and unadorned, but that is certainly not the case by the time Hornet arrives in Farloom. So when did these changes happen? Pius Isamor does mention that the Citadel was bequeathed to the bugs by the Weavers. Bequeathing can mean to give something, but it also has a sense of handing something down. So it's possible the gilding of the Citadel didn't take place until after the Weavers gave control of it over to the Citadel bugs. But the wording is vague, and I don't get the sense that the Citadel bugs would necessarily be more interested in turning the Citadel into some gilded shining city than the Weavers were. One big change that almost definitely took place after the Weavers left was the completion of the Citadel core, which seems to be referenced in the last Edict of the Conductors, which reads, "And lo, is eternity sustained. By Architect's Claw, we welcome that final form, of dial and rotor, and soul gladly given. The perfect, unfaltering voice. The cogwork core is a massive structure of cogs and shafts in the middle of the Citadel. We know from the 12th Architect that the core was built to sustain the song. The core is filled with cylinders with pips on them, similar to what you would see in a music box. And we know from the Cogwork Clapper journal entry that there are bells and cymbals within the depth of the core. And at the very top of the core are rows of statues capable of producing songs.
This room was a vibe.
The act of sustaining the eternal song could be done automatically using the core. Even the maintenance could be done by the Cogwork automatons. This might even explain why the elevator at the entrance to the Citadel goes down into the Underworks instead of up into the Citadel proper. If pilgrims aren't needed to sing the eternal song anymore, they can just be directed down into the Underworks. It seems this was the final state of the Citadel under the rule of the conductors. Bugs were either toiling away in the underworks, locked away in the slab, or trapped as silk flies inside the cogwork shells created by the architects. The bugs themselves were replaced by the cogwork core, so not only was the religion itself fake, but the ones doing the worshipping were fake as well. The Citadel's promise truly was an empty one. As the caretaker puts it, inside and out, it's nothing but a grand gilded lie. And despite all the harsh schemes devised by both the Weavers and the Citadel cast, Grandmother Silk continued to awaken from her slumber. Conductor Balador admits to Hornet that this outcome was inevitable, saying, "The mantle of rule, claimed greedily from Farloom's fading first children, those bitter Weavers. It was yoke, not crown. Now in our Citadel silence, we share their truth. Only one monarch's claw ever clutched this kingdom, though we raised our voices to cry otherwise." The Citadel cast was finally forced to face the same reality the Weavers had. Even in her subjugation, Grandmother Silk was still the only true power in Farloom. At this point, it seems the Citadel finally fell silent, with only the automated cogwork core left capable of sustaining the song. But it wasn't enough. We aren't exactly sure when this happened, but at some point the land of Farloom became haunted by Grandmother Silk. Her threads reached down from the top of the kingdom, starting with the bugs in the Citadel.
Haunted? Does that mean Grandmother Silk became a g-g-g-g?
And eventually reaching all the way down to Lower Farloom, binding the bugs of the land to her will. These threads can be seen occasionally when bugs are defeated, as well as when Hornet plays her needle in near them. But what exactly does the haunting do to these bugs?
Oh, I never noticed. Wait a minute. I never noticed that.
As well as when Hornet plays her needle in near them.
These.
But what exactly does the haunting do to these bugs? Can be seen occasionally when bugs are defeated, as well as when Hornet
Right there. I've never seen that. I never noticed that.
plays her needle in near them. But what exactly does the haunting do to these bugs? At the top of the marrow, Hornet can discover a mysterious building. Inside, a grunting bug and strange squelching sounds can be heard. An operating table can be found in this room as well. It seems
Wait.
a mysterious building. Inside, a grunting bug and strange squelching sounds can be heard. An operating table can be found in this room as well. It seems a bug obsessed with the haunting started cutting into bugs to examine the effects of the haunting itself. This bug, known as a learned pilgrim, was actually going to have their own quest, but was ultimately cut from the game. But their findings can still be found written down on a lore tablet, which starts, "In the air, the water, everywhere. After generations and generations of using silk, Farloom has become covered in silk dregs. This can be seen most clearly in the Citadel." The tablet continues.
So what the hell is silk, though? Like, what is silk? Life? You know what I mean? Chip4, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Like, what exactly is silk? Is everybody made of silk?
Inside their shells, twisted inside, guts, tightest around heart, pulsing rhythm. The silk has even made its way into the shells of bugs, wrapping itself around their very hearts. The presence of silk here is likely due to the experiments of the White Ward. Hornet and the caretaker come to the conclusion that the
No, not rhetorical. Not rhetorical.
implanted into the pilgrims from the experiments there would be carried down into their offspring, making the bugs of Farloom even more susceptible to the haunting. The tablet finishes, "Sick, alive, dead, something worse, deeper, must look deeper." The haunting doesn't just enslave the wills of living bugs, but it can also reanimate bugs that have already died, allowing Grandmother Silk to puppet them from above. Under the haunting, bugs long dead rose to their feet to mindlessly continue the tasks they had in life. Pavo, from Belhart, who was caught in threads in a similar way to the haunting, describes the experience as not particularly comfortable, saying, "It is difficult, upsetting even to think. Strange, sad memories, not my own, and my own thoughts smothered amidst the tangle. If one could choose to connect themselves to something grander, that curse may seem a wonder. For myself, it now seems a horror." According to the dialogue from the Silkar Memory and White Ward, it seems Grandmother Silk is seeking union with the bugs of Farloom. So it makes sense that foreign thoughts would invade Pavo's mind as such. While the haunting's power was strong, it didn't enslave everyone. Some bugs, like Pawncatcher Reed and Balo, resisted the force that claimed their peers. It's not clear why some bugs were able to resist the haunting's power. Benjen and Krull, the two best characters in the game, share their own theories about it, saying, "The haunting? Oh, we's got that all worked out. Benjen and me are a right pair of philosophers when we bend our minds to it. It's faith that gets you. It's all caused by being too devout." Yeah, or maybe not being devout enough. Or maybe it's safest not to think about it at all. We could all learn a thing or two from these wise men. At some point, probably during the haunting, Grandmother Silk also created her own children entirely out of silk, Phantom and Lace. In the Silkheart cutscene after defeating Lace in the cradle, we get some dialogue hinting at Grandmother Silk's motivation.
So, okay, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but only Garf and Flarf were the only two NPCs that were not corrupted by Grandmother Silk? And also, if silk is a corruption, then everything we hit with our needle, we get a little bit of silk. Everything. Even Biddle Buddy, by the way. So doesn't that mean that even Biddle Buddy has been corrupted by silk? There were plenty of others? Then how the hell am I getting silk when I hit people with my needle? All the NPCs you can talk to are not corrupted. Oh, okay, then explain this. Explain this then. Refute this. Biddle Buddy has to be infected, right? Because how else, when you hit Biddle Buddy, would Biddle Buddy not be affected? And then afterward, you free Biddle Buddy from her infection?
For creating Lace. Better a child spawn mad than none. Better a child spun frail than none. Better a child spun pure than them. One to wish our waking. From our Silk, a child born loyal. So it seems Lace was created to be a loyal replacement for the Weavers who betrayed Grandmother Silk in the past. Caretaker describes Lace as follows.
Oh, okay.
Look of a child and a mind to match, but hers been up wandering this citadel longer than most, even in its long silence. Way before you came and roused its ire. So Lace is kinda like a 1,000-year-old kid, like you see in those Asian cartoons. So that's kinda weird. But then again, the Knight in Hollow Knight is technically using the body of an unborn fetus when you think about it. So maybe this is par for the course for Hollow Knight lore. The point is, it seems Grandmother Silk really emphasized the child aspect of Lace when creating her, perhaps thinking that would make her more loyal. But that plan created its own problems, as we'll see. Phantom is the other daughter created by Grandmother Silk, but she appears to be deteriorating by the time Hornet finds her hidden away in the exhaust organ under the Citadel. Her needle in dialogue contains lines like forgotten and discarded, implying that Grandmother Silk wasn't as invested in her as she was Lace. But despite their different stations in Farloom, Lace and Phantom share a similar tragic fate. Inside this area is an empty tank. Playing the needle and reveals a thread memory of Lace talking to her sister inside the tank. She spun us to fade. She spun us to break. Why us, sister? Why us? Lace seems to resent her mother for her form, saying, "This weak, wasting existence. This was not life, just a husk shaped to act as a child." Lace's Hunter's journal entry also claims that it would take a lot of silk to maintain Lace's form. So it seems Grandmother Silk's silk-spun children were fragile creations. Phantom has come to accept this by the events of the game, asking Hornet in her needle in dialogue to free her from her fading fate. Lace, on the other hand, still isn't too happy about the whole being born frail thing. Huh. I wonder if this will be important later. At some point during all this, choir bugs were sent out from Farloom to track down and retrieve the Weavers and their kin. The cages used to transport these Weavers can be found in the cradle, giving us insight into where they were captured. A frail bug with 1/8 Weaver ancestry was found in the Sand Sea Waste. Another 1/8 Weaver was mortally wounded and taken in the Black Barrens. And a quarter ancestry Weaver was staked to serve and taken under the City of Steel. We can also find a Coral Commandment possessed by one of the bugs that kidnapped Hornet, which reads, "Full chamber to the kingdom of the White Worm. Claim the Weaver in half part. Last of their line. Sensed strong with silk. Resistance anticipated. Quell with rune cage." What's interesting about this line is the phrase, "sensed strong with silk," which possibly implies that the Weavers could be sensed from Farloom. Possibly.
Guys, okay, tell me right now, seriously, tell me right now you cannot see this. Tell me right now you can't unsee this now. Am I the only one?
Explaining how the locations of the Weavers were known. It seems most likely that Grandmother Silk ordered these Weavers captured. Her exact motives are never directly stated, but it seems likely to me that Grandmother Silk wants these Weavers for their silken strength. Maybe she intends to bind these Weavers to herself, making her even stronger. While we know several Weavers were brought back to Farloom, only one can be found alive in-game, Widow. Widow is a pretty mysterious character in the lore. According to Hornet, her mask was forcibly removed, and heavy pins were stuck in her spine to keep her from making her own silk. Widow is a fanatic for Grandmother Silk, and a thread memory of her worshipping her in the cradle can be found. Widow.
You know who else they tried to kill for speaking the truth? Jesus.
Was a bit crazed when Hornet finds her, and that seems to be the result of her mask being removed. We know from Hornet's interaction with Maskmaker in this game that masks can in fact alter a creature's personality. But who exactly removed Widow's mask, and why? One theory is that Widow is the quarter Weaver who was captured and staked to service. That would make some sense, since Widow has been literally staked in the back, and is now serving Grandmother Silk. However, the stake to service line might be referring to what state this Weaver was in when they were first found by the choir bugs, not the ultimate fate they faced once back in Farloom. Aside from that, some of Widow's dialogue makes me think that something else is going on here. When she meets Hornet, Widow refers to her as spawn of those who dared to flee. This line implies to me that Widow didn't flee Farloom like her sisters. Otherwise, it would come off a bit hypocritical. In her thread memory in the cradle, she says, "Of the first, the last," and "Our mother, true." These lines imply Widow has a much more direct connection with Grandmother Silk, as opposed to being only a 1/4 Weaver born somewhere outside of Farloom. I suspect Widow was the only Weaver still alive in Farloom after all the others fled. As for the removed mask and bounded silk, there are several possibilities. Perhaps Widow was punished by her fellow Weavers for continuing to support Grandmother Silk, even after she was put to sleep. Although, why wouldn't they just imprison her like they did for Sinner? Maybe Grandmother Silk cruelly had Widow punished for the crimes of her fleeing sisters, and then kept her around as a servant. Or maybe Widow did it to herself, forcibly pulling her own mask off, similar to pulling out one's own teeth, as some kind of demented demonstration of fealty to her mother. Nothing is strictly confirmed though, and I'll be curious to see what theories evolve around this character. As for the Weavers that did flee Farloom, it seems their goal was still to create a child that could usurp Grandmother Silk. One of these groups ended up in Deep Nest, where one of its members, Hera the Beast, became queen. Deep Nest bordered a larger civilization called Hollow Nest, ruled by the Pale King and the White Lady. At some point, the Pale King asked Hera to become a dreamer, a role which would require her to fall into an eternal sleep. Hera agreed, but only if the Pale King gave her a child. The exact details of what happened next are far too dangerous to discuss here on YouTube, so please type this URL into your browser if you really want to know. Either way, the result of all this was the birth of Hornet. We see during the Red Memory in Act 3 of Silksong that the Weavers were watching over Hornet closely.
I really would like to do that actually. I don't know if I'm gonna spend all the time doing this.
Are far too dangerous to discuss here on YouTube, so please type this URL into your browser.
That's it. That's it, guys. I'm doing it. Mossbag.com/please. Oh, please. Mossbag. tell me how the pale, kind, and para the best created hornet. Bro, if I was watching this on my iPhone, I could just hold it down and it would. I think it would copy the text automatically. I really want to know. I am ever so curious about this information. Oh my god, I made one typo. I made one typo. Information. Backslash. I knew it was gonna be something like this. I knew it was gonna be something like this. I thought I was gonna say they chimped. There you go, guys. I did it so that you don't have to. I did it so that you don't have to, guys. Okay? What? They did? Guys, wait a minute. What?
If you really want to know. Either way, the result of all this was the birth of Hornet. We see during the Red Memory in Act 3 of Silksong that the Weavers were watching over Hornet closely, hoping to draw out her Weaver nature, saying, "Prove yourself more Weaver than Worm." But Hera challenged this, telling Hornet, "Ignore them, daughter. Their whispers. Greater, grander, Weaver, Guardian, Queen. Those are their desires, not your own. Certainly not mine. Only if you resist them, you might see it. Another hope, beyond."
Baby Hornet.
Strength as a pale being, and hoped that she would finally help them defeat Grandmother Silk. Hera, on the other hand, seemingly had no interest in this plan, encouraging Hornet to forge her own path. There's just one wrinkle to all this I just don't understand. During the events of Hollow Knight, we see that the Weaver's den in Deep Nest is completely abandoned, save for one Weaver which can be spotted watching the night. According to the Weaver Song charm found in this area, these Weavers actually left Hollow Nest for their old home, Farloom. But if that's the case, what happened to them? The Weave Nest tablets make it pretty clear that they wanted to stay as far away from Grandma Silky as possible. The only possible indication of where the Hollow Nest Weavers went can be found in Weave Nest Absalom in the Abyss. In this Weave Nest, Hornet can find the Far Sight item. This item allows observation over vast distances, and can tell Hornet the state of the world. In the real world, this would be a horrifying mass surveillance device, the likes of which only exist in fiction stories, like the classic novel 1984. But in-game, it basically means the player can now see the game's completion percentage. There are a lot of parallels that can be drawn between this item and the Pale King from Hollow Nest. The design of the object itself vaguely resembles him. The Pale King has an ability described as foresight, allowing him to know the future to some extent. The lore tablet he left for the Hollow Knight in the
What the hell was that? Guys, I have every achievement in the Hollow Knight. What the hell is this? Have I seen this before? Have I ever seen this?
Described as foresight, allowing him to know the future to some extent. The lore tablet he left for the Hollow Knight in the Black Egg Temple also gives the world sensibility, which allows the player to see the game's completion percentage. The rune effect in the Farsight cutscene also resembles runes we see in the Past Shell. So it's possible to just design this device after encountering the Pale King in Hollow Nest and returning to Farloom. But if that's the case, where are they? Another possibility is that the Weavers encountered a different worm than the Pale King, and that's what inspired them to build the Farsight. We just don't have quite enough information to say for sure. One way or another, Chorus bugs were sent to Hollow Nest. They eventually captured Hornet within a rune cage, and carried her all the way back to Farloom. And now we finally made it to the events of Silksong proper. It's at this point I want to thank a few people for their help on this video, talking lore with me and sharing ideas, as well as the Hollow Knight wiki community in general, for just being really cool. Also the modding community as well. It took a bit of time for the wiki and mod communities to build up around Hollow Knight when it released back in 2017. So it's been awesome to watch the community tear Silksong apart like a pack of ravenous hyenas on the Serengeti. It honestly brings a tear to my eye, and I don't even cry that much anymore. As the party arrives...
Here's what I will say, guys, like, I'm glad that people like Mossbag and whoever the hell that he collaborated with exist, but like, that, I feel like the game would, I feel like I wouldn't even be having fun if I was like, studying the game like this, and picking it apart like he was just saying. I don't even feel like I'd be having fun anymore. I would feel like I was at like school.
In Farloom, a silkfly appears out of nowhere and breaks the rune on Hornet's cage. Hornet escapes from her captors and begins her long trek up to the Citadel, telling the Chapel Maid, "Then I shall seek their Citadel. If the veiled bugs would go to such lengths to bring me here, I intend to find out why." Along the way, Hornet will meet beloved characters, such as Quiet Pilgrim, Fearful Pilgrim.
Wait, I said the same thing in the Hollow Knight lore vid about what I just said, or what I said about Bardoon?
Aged Pilgrim, Tall Pilgrim, Solemn Pilgrim, Worried Pilgrim, Dejected Pilgrim, Wary Pilgrim, Exhausted Pilgrim, Pilgrim Preacher, Humble Pilgrim, Scared Pilgrim, Horned Pilgrim, and everyone's favorite, Mort. She'll also find corpses of her dead ancestors who have waited for her arrival so they can share their strength with her.
Mort, and by the way, it's not even close favorite character.
Mort.
Favorite character, and by the way, and it's not even close.
She'll also find corpses of her dead ancestors who have waited for her arrival so they could share their strength with her in hopes that she may dethrone Grandmother Silk. Hornet will also face some of her greatest threats yet, such as lava, spike traps, thorns, rocks, bells, steam, and other such obstacles worthy of challenging a godlike being such as Hornet. Hornet can bear witness to many strange rituals along her way. She can find pilgrims enthralled in
I never saw
she
that.
Can break bread with bugs and can bear witness to many
I never saw this. What the hell is
rituals
this?
along her way. She can find pilgrims enthralled.
What the hell is that? I never saw that. Holy mother of bean, what are they doing there? Bro, what are they doing in Bone Bottom? Jesus.
In worship. She can break bread with bugs still in control of their senses, and she can even learn to play almost 10 whole songs on her needlin. Hornet can even stumble upon a strange cult of burning bugs obsessed with flame. Deep within the thicket, Hornet can find the father of the flame, a giant totem and god containing the burning corpse of an aged bug. Huh, I wonder if this will be important later. Depending on how she ascends,
Probably not.
Hornet can also be attacked by Lace in Deep Docks. Lace is conducting silk flies in this scene, perhaps indicating that she is the one who freed Hornet from her cage at the start of the game. Lace seems jealous that her mother is more interested in Hornet than her.
What? Clip it. Clip it. I walked in, I saw them yeet a child into a pit, and then I just kept leaving?
So she has decided to kill Hornet to keep her from reaching her mother at the Citadel. However, if Hornet takes a different route to the Citadel, Lace will just show up and taunt her without actually fighting her. A true hater. In her journey, Hornet may also come across Haunted Belheart, a town whose citizens have been strung up by silk into the air. Hornet describes a situation like this. The thread sickness. I've seen its like upon the roads, but there it does not discriminate. The curse that strikes the town, it is driven, focused, a cold use of silk at a concerning scale. Upon investigating the area, Hornet discovers a culprit, Widow. While not the source of the silk itself, Widow can play music upon it to manipulate the silk to her whim. Widow curses the town as a gift for Grandmother Silk, and now sees Hornet as a...
If I had to guess, I was getting backseated at the time and was just instinctually or reactively ignoring whatever the hell people were saying. Like, do this or do that or yada yada. I was probably too focused on that.
Another offering she can give her mother. Once Hornet defeats Widow, she binds the ancestral art Needlin. From here, Hornet has two paths to the Citadel. She can either ring the 5 bells located in the bell shrine scattered throughout Farloom and fight the last judge at the peak of the blasted steps, or she can venture through Sinner's Road to find the mist.
Okay, no, you never spoke to them to trigger it, so I saved that child. You guys damned that child to hell. I, on the other hand, saved that child. So who's really in the wrong here? Who's actually in the wrong here? I don't even try to be a good person, guys, and yet I just happen to do it.
Warp space in Farloom full of silk flies and vengeful wraiths. By playing her Needlin for the silk flies, Hornet can find her way to the exhaust organ and defeat Phantom. Upon defeating either Last Judge or Phantom, Hornet will gain access to the Citadel. Hornet arrives at a seemingly empty Citadel, until Lace appears again to taunt her. Hornet tells Lace she knows a higher being and...
I'm sorry. First time chatter. First ever message. I'ma say goodnight. See ya. Yo, Janer, welcome and goodbye to the chat. Peace out.
Responsible for the haunting overtaking Farloom. Lace mocks Hornet, telling her that she has no chance of defeating Grandmother Silk. Hornet replies by saying, I found those who claim themselves a god can rarely match the title. And experience tells me even gods can fall. After this interaction, Grandmother Silk lets out a scream and the Citadel comes to life with the haunted husks of Citadel bugs. Once Hornet reaches the top of the Citadel and defeats the Cogwork dancers, she must complete the threefold melody, recovering the 3 separate songs held by the architects, keepers, and conductors. But before she can get the melodies, Hornet will have to fight one of the most complex and thematically rich characters in Silksong, and perhaps even all of fiction, Trabio. Trabio is a tragic character. His dream was to bring the Citadel back to life through the...
Trabio? Trabio.
Trabio.
I almost want to stop watching this. Almost. It's not Trobio? Blood literally shouts, Trobio! With a hard O. Trobio! He does not say Trabio. What the hell is that? Did I just get rage baited? I just got rage baited, didn't I? How did I let myself do this? How did I let myself do this?
Magic of the great stage. He called upon Hornet to be his partner in reigniting the flame that fuels the land of Farloom. The two danced a dance of unparalleled beauty, with every step, every turn, every goddamn exploding ball executed exactly as choreographed. But then tragedy struck.
Exploding ball sounds something similar to like I can't even do it. Take 2, guys. Take 2. Exploding balls sounds something similar to what I experienced on Center's Road.
When Hornet straight up murders Trabio for real, live on stage. Trabio made the ultimate sacrifice for Farloom, and now he's dead forever. And yet, he lives on in the hearts and minds of children all over the world. Thank you, Trabio. It seems recovering the parts of the threefold melody was
Can I
meant
do a
to be
Silksong
impossible.
speedrun stream?
Hornet mentions that the climb through the
Ah,
clockwork
who knows,
core
you
to
know?
reach the Architect's melody would be near impossible for a normal bug, and Vault Keeper Cardenius even outright states it was against the law for a Vault Keeper to share the Vault Keeper's melody with a non-Vault Keeper. These roadblocks to completing the threefold melody might play into the idea that regular bugs were never actually supposed to be able to reach the top of the Citadel to learn the truth about Grandmother Silk's imprisonment. Hornet plays the completed melody to the statues and is finally granted access to a lift that will transport her to the cradle. At the top of the lift, Hornet finds Lace, waiting for her in a field of flowers. After the battle, the two finally discuss Lace's true nature. Lace expresses frustration at her silken form, viewing it as a cruel mimicry of life. Hornet tries to console her, but Lace is having none of it and promptly dies. With Lace out of the way, Hornet finally confronts Grandmother Silk, the pale being responsible for everything that's happened up to this point. And I'll be honest, I didn't expect her to look like this. She's not bug-like at all. She's like some kind of weird woman. This is what a woman looks like, by the way. After defeating her, Hornet binds Grandmother Silk to herself. As she does so, her crest expands and
Okay, okay, here's what I will say. Guys, I'm forgetting that I'm reacting to this video. I'm finding these jokes funny, okay? I'm finding these jokes funny, but this is how I would laugh if if no one was watching me. This is how I would laugh. I swear to God, I think this joke is funny right here.
Like this. She's not bug-like at all. She's like some kind of weird woman. This is what a woman looks like, by the way. After defeating her...
That's a funny joke. But like, guys, I'm reacting. I'm trying to be as authentic as possible here, okay? That's how I would react if I was alone. I'd be like, I'd be thinking in my head, oh, that was funny. But I don't think I would show it on my face.
Hornet binds Grandmother Silk to herself. As she does so, her crest expands immensely, and her masks transform into Weaver-style ones. Hornet's binding results in the entire Citadel getting covered in a thick web of silk. We then see Hornet's body curled up inside the cradle as she grows additional pairs of arms. This ending is referred to as Weaver Queen in the game's achievements menu. It seems this was the end goal of the Weavers.
No, I'm never going to play Expedition 33.
The Weavers to create a being capable of usurping Grandmother Silk. The Weaver Queen ending is not a happy ending for Hornet, as it depicts her following the predestined path the Weavers wanted for her, with her body becoming even more Weaver-like in appearance. But we know that wasn't Hornet's true desire. At some point, the caretaker asks this of Hornet, saying, "Ready to make your play, to oust one ruler and claim her place?" To which Hornet replies, "I'll not deny some part of me desires that outcome. Dominance, it seems, is baked deep."
Guys, for the love of God, I mean, seriously, all Mossbag has to do is just reach out to me and say, hey, do you want to voice every single character, every single quote that I'm going to cite? And I would say, yes, I'll do it for free. Please reach out to me.
In my blood, as too, no doubt, for the one up top. And yet, another part resists. A part, over time, I find myself siding with more. That part wishes not to claim a monarch's mantle. Rather would see my freedom regained, and this kingdom's bugs unshackled from their pale chains. So,
guys, hang on 1 second. Sorry. One second. My dad's calling me. Hang on. Okay, here we go.
Ending for Hornet. Are there any good ones? Well, let's look at the Twisted Child ending. To get this ending, Hornet has to bring the Twisted Bud item to Greyroot, a strange creature located in Shellwood. Doing this lets Hornet access the Rite of Rebirth quest, where Greyroot injects Hornet with a parasite that limits her silk and removes her ability to equip tools. To remove the parasite, Hornet must seek help from Yarnaby in Greymoor, a doctor kicked out of Belhart for her questionable medical practices. But Hornet can actually just keep adventuring around Farloom instead of dealing with the parasite immediately. This can lead to some interesting interactions. Eva will bar Hornet from entering her chamber, any wardenfly that catches Hornet in a cage will be killed by the parasite, Tip and Pill will refuse to let Hornet make deliveries, but the biggest change comes from when Hornet defeats Grandmother Silk while still infected.
Whoa, hang on. All that stuff is new?
Rather would see my freedom regained, and this kingdom's bugs unshackled from their pale chains. So if the Weaver Queen ending is a bad ending for Hornet, are there any good ones? Well, let's look at the Twisted Child ending. To get this ending, Hornet has to bring the Twisted Bud item to Greyroot, a strange creature located in Shellwood. Doing this lets Hornet access the Rite of Rebirth quest, where Greyroot injects Hornet with a parasite that limits her silk and removes her ability to equip tools. To remove the parasite, Hornet must seek help from Yarnaby in Greymoor, a doctor kicked out of Belhart for her
I hate the child. I hate it.
questionable medical practices. But Hornet can actually just keep adventuring around Farloom instead of dealing with the parasite immediately. This can lead to some interesting interactions. Eva will bar Hornet from entering her chamber, any wardenfly that catches Hornet in a cage will be killed by the parasite, Tip and Pill will refuse to let Hornet make deliveries, but the biggest change comes from when
cool,
Hornet
I didn't know all
defeats
that.
Silk while still infected. Both pale beings will get tangled in the parasite's roots and be turned into some kind of hardened plant material. Then this happens. So I don't think that's a particularly good ending either. But the bad endings don't stop there. There's actually another ending that was cut from the game called Strung to Serve. From what information I've seen, this ending was originally going to trigger if Hornet hadn't rung enough of the Bell Shrine bells across Farloom. There's a cut line from Caretaker implying these bells weaken Grandmother Silk. In the final game, these bells just unlock one of the two paths to the Citadel, Caretaker implying these bells weaken Grandmother Silk. In the final game, these bells just unlock one of the two paths to the Citadel, so they aren't quite as important as they might have been earlier in the game's development. In this ending, Grandmother Silk overpowers Hornet at the end of the battle. We get a shot of what appears to be some kind of fusion between the two beings. This being then sends threads down to the hapless pilgrims below. So in this ending, it seems like Grandmother Silk succeeded in taking Hornet's strength and is now free to enslave all of Farloom to her will. So that's a really...
Sherma. Oh my god. Even Sherma, guys. Holy mother of bean. This is an ending that was cut out? Yeah, cut ending.
Really bad ending. But don't worry, I'm sure the next ending will be good, right?
Surely.
Well, no, it's not a good ending. It's honestly not even really an ending. If Hornet helps enough people in Farloom, the caretaker will eventually suggest to her a method to trap Grandmother Silk. This involves collecting the souls of the caretaker's remaining relatives left in Farloom. These souls include the Chapel Maid in the Moss Grotto, the Bell Hermit underneath Bellheart, and a deceased bug whose soul can be found in Bilewater. Both the Chapel Maid and the Bell Hermit give their souls willingly, but the remaining soul, the Seeker Soul, is a little more difficult to obtain. At some point, this bug traveled into Bilewater to seek the help of the Stillkin. But
Snore, so true, actually.
Against the Citadel, the Stillkin killed him and took his soul. Hornet has to infiltrate the Stillkin's home, Bilehaven, and defeat them and their leader, Grohl the Great. Now, I have the feeling people are going to try and make the Stillkin out to be the bad guys here. But I'll be honest, if the Seeker was anything like the caretaker or...
Guys, if you could ask one question to Grohl, what would it be? If you could ask one question to Grohl, what would it be and why? I'll hear your answer and then I'll tell you mine.
The Bell Hermit, I don't blame the Stillkin for doing what they did. I will stand with Grohl the Great here, and I hope you do too. The caretaker also instructs Hornet to search Weaveness Atla for the Weaver's prototype weapon, the Snare Setter. Hornet gives these 3 souls and the Snare Setter to the caretaker, who then sets up the trap inside the cradle. Hornet then challenges Grandmother Silk. After defeating her, instead of binding, Hornet plays her needle in to activate the caretaker's trap. But something unexpected happens. A large circle of void within the Snare Setter appears beneath Hornet and Grandmother Silk. The art assets for this thing imply that it's actually opening a portal directly to the Abyss. The void starts to pull Grandmother Silk in, who in turn grabs onto Hornet, attempting to drag her down as well. But this scheme is thwarted by Lace, who cuts Hornet free and falls into the void with her mother. The two disappear into a giant black ball of void that then collapses in on itself, creating a shockwave that shakes the entire Citadel. But just as things seem to have finally ended, void-covered silk threads reach up through the ground from below. This concludes the snared Silk ending. But instead of putting Hornet back to before the fight in the save file, this ending triggers Silksong's third act, called Abyss. Hornet awakens to find that all of Farloom has been altered, with environments wrecked by the appearance of black threads, NPCs killed in the quakes.
So I forgot I asked the question and then I looked back. I looked back and saw these questions. I'm like, wait, what the hell? Have you ever been to Sitter's Road? How's your dookie? Is that crust nut pizza I smell? What that mouth do? Just why? Flirt? Question mark. Mine would be undoubtedly, I agree with Snore, what that mouth do. And it's not even closer.
An enemy's possessed by void. Hornet travels back to the ruined chapel where she confronts the caretaker, the chapel maid, and the bell hermit, who we learn at this point.
Also, guys, one more thing I have to say. These guys, W singers. So I'm not sure what the hell Mossbag is talking about. These NPCs together, this one goes, and this guy goes, and then this one, I don't know, sounds just normal or whatever. But like, together, guys, dynamite trio. Dynamite trio.
Actually, snail shamans. It turns out their fascination with the void led them to try and use it in combination with the snare setter to trap Grandmother Silk in the abyss. The only problem is Lace also fell into the trap. This has caused Grandmother Silk to violently resist against the void, continuously creating more silk to keep the abyss from consuming her daughter. And at the same time, void-infused threads connected to her cocoon have shot up into Farloom, threatening to destroy the entire kingdom. Hornet resolves to...
Yo, Salmon. Salmon, thank you. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for the follow. Thank you. I appreciate it. What a first-time message. Thank you so much. I'm glad to hear you're enjoying it.
Travel to the abyss to investigate. She heads to the deep docks to seek the help of Ballo and using the old diving bell to drop down into the abyss. Ballo obliges, but the age of the bell causes a malfunction, leaving Hornet stranded deep below Farloom. Hornet looks for Grandmother Silk, but discovers that she has been submerged within the Sea of Void. Lace, never one to waste an opportunity to mock Hornet, somehow astral projects herself into the room and tells Hornet there's nothing she can do to save Farloom. Lace explains that she saved Hornet as an act of rebellion against her mother for creating her so frail, and seems to relish in the idea of dooming her mother.
So guys, I have a question, and I would like you to refrain from using condescending no question marks, okay? Please refrain from condescending no question marks. I have a question for you, okay? Mods, keep it on, super credit name. I have a question for you. Does that... So, when Lost Lace cut Hornet from the... When Lace cut Hornet from Grandmother Silk's grip as Grandmother Silk was being dragged down into the abyss, does that mean Lace is actually a good person? Like a good character? And ever since we killed Lace in that one room where we went up the elevator, she was freed from like the puppet grip of Grandmother Silk, and she became a good person and was trying to help us. Because at the time when I saw that ending, I thought Lace was behind some sort of evil. Or was that actually the caretaker that was evil? Like, did the caretaker know that this would happen? That Grandmother Silk would be in the abyss and like launching a bunch of, just like infecting everyone 10 times worse? You know what I mean? Is that true? Does my question make sense? Lace was never haunted. Lace rebels against her grandmother in that moment, but then is dragged down in the abyss. I don't think she was ever a puppet. Silk only cares about Lace. Hornet is Lace's niece. Just another argument supporting the Lace net ship. Lace is very spiteful, which I think happened to work in your favor. She was doing it for the lulz/sewer slide. Lace just asked for herself. Vodfrogs, can you please, Vodfrogs, what do you think about this advice that I'm getting, or this knowledge that I'm getting? What do you think, Vodfrogs? The snail shamans did not know what would happen, but also weren't too trustful it would go well. Okay.
And all of Farloom along with her. But Hornet remains determined, claiming that she will acquire the bloom that repels the dark. Hornet returns to the top of the abyss, only to find that the diving bell has disappeared. So she has to climb back out of the abyss herself. It's at this point that
this is a great moment.
The reveal trailer starts playing for the first and only time during the entire game. Now, I've watched that trailer probably over 300 times in the last 6 years, and it was honestly kind of weird not hearing all the sound effects from the trailer. Hopefully Team Cherry will patch the game to add them back in. I really think that would make this moment even more epic. Hornet returns to the snail shamans and explains that she must retrieve an Everbloom from within her own memories. We see what is likely the exact same type of flower in Hollow Knight, going by the name Delicate Flower. Grey Mourner, one of the Pale King's 5 great knights, brought the delicate flower from a faraway land, and requests that the knight take the flower to the grave of her dead lover, the Traitor Lord's daughter. I don't know what it is with Team Cherry and tragic dead gay lovers, but if you are gay or have a gay lover, and Team Cherry wants to put you in their game, maybe stop and think about it first. If the knight tries to give the delicate flower to the white lady, she declines, explaining that the flower contains a rare power. She also tells Hornet
that was funny. I'm laughing on the inside.
In the red memory that the Everbloom is the first light. The knight can give the flower to the Godseeker, but while she recognizes it as rare and pure, she can't detect any godliness from it. However, giving the delicate flower to Godseeker actually unlocks an alternate ending for Hollow Knight. The Godseekers in Hollow Knight are attempting to attune to the Radiance, who they detect as the highest god in all the land. When the knight first arrives in Godhome, a dream realm inside the mind of the Godseeker, she is not impressed, calling it a cringer.
I'm not joking. I mean, how do you guys watch videos? When you guys watch videos and you're being your authentic self, are you sitting there going, ha 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 ha, or do you just like stare at your screen? Or like, I don't know, are you like one of those like nose breathers? Where, I mean, like where you go like where you laugh like that. Can you guys hear that? And then that's it. Like, I'm being my authentic self. What do you guys want me to do? Do you guys want me to throw for content? What do you want me to do? I'm being me, okay?
Declare the Pantheons, defeating boss
after boss. You slap your knee. You slap your knee.
The knight. Upon defeating the Absolute Radiance at the end of the Pantheon of Hallownest, the knight seems to take on a new form.
Which, by the way, I've done that twice. I've done that twice and it wasn't even hard. But who's counting, though? Who's counting that I did it on the day before Silksong and then got 112% all achievements for Hollow Knight the day before? Who's even keeping track of that, though?
Referred to in-game as Void Given Focus. After this transformation, the knight begins to leak out from the Godseeker.
I could do it right now.
With void tendrils lashing out from her body. However, if the Godseeker is holding the delicate flower, Godseeker and the void leaking from her disappear, leaving only the flower with a single stained petal. So it does indeed seem like the Everbloom can repel void. Whether or not this event in Hollow Knight is the memory Hornet has of the Everbloom is unclear, though. The white lady calling the Everbloom the first light implies this flower might be a primordial force in the world of Hollow Knight. It's described as having a pale light, maybe indicating that the power found within all pale beings is connected to it, but for whatever reason, only these flowers can repel void. Due to her nature as a weaver, Hornet can access things like the Everbloom from her memories using silk. So I guess it kinda works like Essence in Hollow Knight, but instead it's silk, because what can't silk do in this universe? They can make freaking laser beams out of silk.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when I ask a question like, guys, what is silk? And then you guys are like, blood. It's already been explained. It's like, yeah, but it's like, silk is everything. Silk is everything at the same time. That's what silk is. So it's like, I'm like, yeah, guys, I don't really fully understand that. You guys are like, blood? But it was already explained, blood.
However, Hornet needs a spell from the Snail Shamans to actually access the Everbloom. The Snail Shamans tell her they can cast a spell, but it will require a tremendous amount of power. They tell Hornet to seek the Old Hearts, the strength remaining from the former rulers of Farloom, Crust King Khan, Scar Singer Carmelita, and Nihilith. The Shamans then teach Hornet a new song on her Needlin, Elegy of the Deep, which will allow her to access the memories of these bugs from when they were in their prime, so basically like traveling to a pocket dimension. This is similar to the film Shrek Forever After. Hornet finds the Old Hearts scattered all across Farloom. In the wind-blasted sands of Karak, she can find the corpse of Crust King Khan, hidden away in the Coral Tower. He's even got all his soldiers with him, aura farming even in death. Makes you think. In Upper Shellwood, she finds a shrine built begrudgingly by the Citadel in honor of Nihilith. The shrine itself is protected by Shrine Guardian Seth, who stops any bug who would try to approach it, killing them if necessary. It's not clear where Seth came from or why he's even in service to Nyleth, but it seems like he's under some kind of spell, considering his personality completely changes after Hornet defeats him, revealing himself to be a total gamer. Finally, a Hollow Knight character I can relate to. Well, him and Styx. On the east end of Farfields, Hornet can find the withered frame of Scar Singer Carmelita, who's gotten a little bit bigger since she was young. I've heard this is what protein powder does to you. Playing her newly learned song will allow Hornet to battle Khan, Nyleth, and Carmelita in their prime, and claim their hearts for the Snail Shaman's ritual. Hornet can also, completely unprompted mind you, track down the Green Prince on the border of Verdania and murder him while he mourns the loss of his lover. Hornet will then call him vain in her murder journal. What the fuck, Hornet?
Guys, so based. You stumble upon someone and murder them while they're mourning the death of a loved one. God, so based, guys. You know what I mean?
This means Hornet can actually acquire 4 old hearts, whichever one.
Hornet be like, I must leave. I have no further business here. I must leave as soon as possible, and I'm only here to get the job done and leave. Anything beyond that, it does not concern me. And then Hornet also walks by the Green Prince, mourning the death of his loved one, and it goes inside of his head and murders him from the inside. Hornet at the same time.
The Snail Shamans will get put on a shelf in her bell home. What is her problem? Upon bringing the old hearts to the Snail Shamans, the trio cast their spell, sending Hornet into the Red Memory, a dream space flashing back to moments of her past. We see the Weavers influencing Hornet from a young age, encouraging her to embrace her Weaver heritage. We then see Hera telling Hornet to forge her own path in life, and that she is not bound to follow the desires of her Weaver kin. Good mom. We then see Hornet training with Hive Queen Vespa, the ruler of the Hive, a location hidden away in the far reaches of Hallownest. The idea that Hornet was trained by Vespa was mentioned by Ari Gibson all the way back in 2017, but he implied the relationship might not have applied anymore. But 8 years later, Team Fury has finally confirmed it. Now, you might think that this interaction finally explains why Hornet's name is Hornet, but the game technically doesn't indicate that anywhere in Vespa's dialogue. For all we know, Hera just named her that. At the end of the Red Memory, Hornet confronts the White Lady.
Who cares? I mean, okay, I'm sorry. This, guys, okay, cover your ears if you get offended easily, but I'm sorry. Isn't that how most people's names go? Where you just kind of get named that? Like, the parent likes the name and just names you that name? Is that not how naming usually goes? Like, I'm pretty sure the lore behind my name, Trevor, is just that my dad liked the name. Am I in the minority? Is that weird?
The creation of the vessels. In case you forgot this minor plot point from Hollow Knight, the Pale King and the White Lady created the vessels by dropping their children into the abyss and allowing the void to hollow them out. One vessel was chosen to contain the Radiance, a vengeful moth god who has infected the kingdom of Hallownest with a sickness that preys on the minds and dreams of its citizens. Not only does this plan fail, as the Hollow Knight wasn't pure enough to contain the Radiance, but countless more vessels, including the player character from the game, were abandoned in the abyss. Hollow Knight's story is about the player character, the Knight, coming to terms with its past and deciding the fate of Hallownest on its own terms. So, all things considered, not the best showing by these two higher beings. And Hornet even calls the White Lady out here, saying she would never resort to such a weak scheme for salvation. The White Lady responds with pity, and finally offers Hornet the Everbloom. I think the sequence serves as Hornet rejecting the excuses of her divine kin. It seems Hornet views their actions as coming from a position of weakness, while Hornet has come to find the strength to craft the world exactly as she dreams it. And through that strength, Hornet will choose to save another from the void, instead of sacrificing an entire generation of offspring to it. Hornet's resolve is reflected in the journal entry for Lost Lace, which reads, "To quell the mother's rage and see this kingdom saved, I will claim her back. This one, the dark shall not take." Hornet awakens in the Snail Shaman's hut, but all 3 of them are now gone, save for their shells. They seem to have used all their energy when casting the spell, and faded away. Let's have a moment of silence for the Snail Shamans, who bravely gave their lives for Farloom. Anyways, here's my tier list for them. With the Everbloom in hand, Hornet returns to Deep Docks, where Ballo has fixed the diving bell. Hornet descends into the abyss again, where Lace stops her to chat one more time, saying, "Take the final plunge, Spider. Join us in my drowning
That was
palace.
funny. That was
Let
funny.
Oblivion swallow us all." Hornet rebuffs Lace, saying, "Oblivion may take you, child. My own life I shall not sacrifice. I have survived the fury of your land. I have borne its barbs and its blades.
It
and I have seen
was.
wonders behind its dangers.
It was
But
funny.
always, child, I remain a daughter of Hallownest, and the void below all things, that darkness I will fear no longer." This is the last line of dialogue in the game before the true ending, and it's also the only time in the entire game the word Hallownest is spoken, which, considering Hollow Knight is 8 years old at this point, I think legally qualifies as nostalgia bait. You hate to see it. Hornet then begins her descent into the Lake of Nothing below. Hornet arrives in a silken sphere created by Grandmother Silk. The Pale Monarch can be seen inside, bare of silk. Lace finally appears, but this time corrupted by void, referred to in-game as Lost Lace. Hornet proceeds to beat the crap out of her, slowly freeing her body from the corrupting void.
Yeah.
Lace is finally cleansed
Yep.
by Hornet's blade.
Guys, pay no attention to the 30 times before. Pay no attention to the first 30 times that I fought Lost Lace. I definitely just beat the crap out of her. Trust me on that one, guys. Trust me on that one.
Ask Grandmother Silk to give her enough silk so that she can escape the Sea of Void and return Lace to safety. However, as Hornet and Lace rocket through the void, the petals of the Everbloom disintegrate. The ever-hungry void tendrils take this opportunity to strike, but are stopped by none other than the Knight, who has arrived in Farloom with the rest of the Shades. We even briefly see the Knight's focused form, indicating that the Knight has likely been elevated in power by the ritual of Godhome in this timeline. We never really got a sense of the Knight's desires in the events of Hollow Knight. But I feel the Dream War ending was about the Knight and its siblings destroying the Radiance, not because they wanted to save Hallownest or anything.
Yeah, I got all Hollow
Knight.
Knight
the Hollow Knight from its suffering, trapped in the Black Egg, separated from its siblings. The Knight also choosing to help Hornet, another one of its siblings, implies that the Knight really does care for her. And it's not like Hornet also didn't help the Knight as well, guiding it towards the Kingsbrand so it could learn the truth of its conception. So the Knight helping Hornet here is another example of how Hornet helping others leads to the world of Hollow Knight being a better place, at least in some ways. The Knight returns Hornet and Lace to the surface, the void threads around them dissipate, the two awaken, and Lace has a bit of a laugh.
Guys, I have a question, but I'm gonna get made fun of, okay? So just whatever. Okay, whatever. In the pursuit of truth, I will accept some damnations, okay? So is Hollow Knight Silksong the sequel to Hollow Knight? Because why the hell is the Knight Shadow? Like timeline wise, you know what I mean? Why is Scrimbio a black tentacle monster? What are you guys gonna say about that?
While Hornet hits her with the Weaver Stare. This ending is called Sister of the Void. Farloom and its White Knight have been saved from complete destruction, and the system of endless song and toil has finally been eradicated. But now that we've talked about Silksong's story in detail, just one question remains. What is this game even about? Maybe it's a story about lineage, and how we shouldn't let our ancestors decide our fate. Or it might be a biting criticism of how religion is a tool used by the powers that be to extract labor from the unwitting proletariat. It could be an examination on the nature of truth and how the web of lies we spin will inevitably ensnare us. Perhaps it's a story about the relationship between mothers and daughters, and how mutual love and respect should be shared between them, with no strings attached. Or maybe spiders are just assholes.
Wait. Okay, hang on. Before we watch Phil Hellmuth, before we watch Poker and Phil Hellmuth, I have a question. So is Grandmother Silk... Kill me. Is Grandmother Silk actually a good person? Like, is Grandmother Silk, like, a bad person? You know what I mean? But actually a good person? General Shark, thanks for the follow. We'll see. I'm calling it right now. Guys, I'm calling it right now. I called that Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 would be released this year, and I also called that Silksong would be released this year. So, watch this. Watch this. Dare I end my video with this? Grandmother Silk is going to, lore-wise, turn out to be a good person. Or at least not a bad person. Just like the Hollow Knight turned out to be just a vessel. Not necessarily bad, but also not good. But just the real bad one was Radiance. So watch. Dare I say, watch this. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Grandmother Silk is kind of like the Wizard of Oz, just the imperfect person trying to hold it all together. That's what I'm saying. Wait, so why are you guys saying that she's bad? Oh god, I'm about to crash out right now. All right, guys. Let's end this. Let's end this here. Let's end this on a good note, guys. Ready? Ready, guys? Let's end on a good note. Clock in. Guys, clock in, but take it serious, okay? Seriously. Actually take it serious, okay? It's called a road, it's called a sinner's road. It's where you go to shoot load. It's called a road, it's called a sinner's road. And it's where you go to shoot load. It's called a road, it's called a sinner's road. It's where you go to shoot load. It's where you go to shoot your load. It's a road called Sinner's Road. It's where you go to shoot load. It's a road called Sinner's Road. It's where you go to shoot your load. It's a road called Sinner's Road. It's where you go to shoot your load. It's Sinner's Road. It's where you go to shoot your load. It's sin. I miss you, Scrimbio. It's Sinner's Road, it's where you go to shoot your load. On Sinner's Road again, I would absolutely be locked up in a slab for all my sins. It's called a road. All right, guys. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it, guys. Peace out. Thanks so much for watching. I will be streaming tomorrow. But I won't be streaming Friday probably, or probably Saturday. So, literal tears in my eyes. Guys, 07, thanks so much for watching. Peace out. See you guys tomorrow. I'll probably be watching the Cuphead Summoning Salt video, so clock the mother chimp in for that, and then trying to go for 300% afterward. I might be playing God of War. What am I going to play after God of War? No idea. But for sure, the Cuphead Summoning Salt video, followed by Cuphead, followed by maybe God of War, and then we'll see what happens after that. But peace out. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Also, Oslanave, welcome back, and goodbye.